K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith. With Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. Yes, 33 minutes past here. We have 6 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report, viewing the Ground Report on all your favorite platforms. Well, joining us by 7 o'clock. Baby Guile. Sorry about yesterday, please, God. A lot of technical difficulties. Adversary fan poll kind of thing, which is good. If we missed you, yes, we did. Did you all miss the Ground Report? Yes, you all did. So we have a lot to catch up on from since yesterday to today. So here it is. Send your voice notes. What's on your front burner? What's supposed to make news that not making news?
I pledge, yes, I pledge to serve my country, Tobago and Trinidad.
we talking about?
Now that she needs me, I will work hard. Now let's get down to serious work. Stop your crying, Lord. Things hard in Trinidad, and bring back the ship afloat. No denying, Lord. Things bad, bad, bad in Trinidad. If I work with you, brother, you work with me. Together we could rebuild sweet TNT. In a gesture of love, let us all join our hands and sing. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
I pledge to serve my country, Tobago and Trinidad. I pledge, now that she needs me, I will work hard. I pledge to serve my country, to give her a brand new start. I pledge my love for TNT with all my heart. Yeah, boom shogolo bongo dum. Yeah, boom shogolo bongo dum. Yeah, boom shogolo bongo dum. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boom shogolo bongo dum. Yeah, boom shogolo bongo dum. Yeah, boom shogolo bongo dum. Now everywhere I turn, people saying, Lord, things hard.
That's what we talking about.
Yes, everywhere I turn,
Nice, the lines are open,
I hearing God, things
for all in sundry.
bad in Trinidad. They're
Bang, 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 bang.
No roll call this morning. There'll be too much on his time check. There's already 36 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. Let's get down to business. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, Andy. Calling from Florida. Actually, in Indiana. No?
Nice.
I'm rolling. We're driving all night, all morning, all night. Andy, good morning, everybody in the chat, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I want to make a flip front burner to this morning. I know it may be look awkward, but everybody is talking about all different things about taxes that the resident pay for the house taxes and everything, and where the money going to. But I stressing about the bigger picture here, about where all his money were able took and what he did with it. Where's all the money going to the treasury? You know, all the money they borrow, where all the money went to. We want to know everything they talk about this and that and the other. Those are issues. That's my front burner. Is where all that money went to and who responsible. And we ought to know. We ought to find it out. I know it takes some time, but we ought to know. And somebody have to be accountable. Or somebody's or some people have to be accountable. I ain't calling names of where all that money went to. That's my front burner. That's all right.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Yeah, boy, anyway, this very yesterday, that boy, when I born yesterday, boy, from Mickie, the funeral and thing. It was really sad, yeah. Because said the mother playing to the youth, them mother cause that's for all we got, yeah. Understand? Calling on Alexander for, so let Alexander try and do what you could do to have the police them 24/7 doing a patrol up and down around the place. Every hole do a patrol. And then 24/7. You understand? These criminals getting out of hand. You understand? And it's time this needs to stop. If Olen send out a message to these criminals, or Olen hang 10 of them to get hung, you understand, for these killing, you know it wouldn't stop because they got feel all the bluffing or they're serious. So we could keep on doing what we are doing, you understand? I just send out a message to them. 10 of them, I know they hang them, bam, or you get them electrocute them, or you get them from injection, and send out a message to the rest of them for them to know that, hey, this crime needs to stop. If they don't stop it, is what I'm really going through. Look, the little boy with a berry, understand, from Okoya. No, start to come out the little football thing, you know. You understand? He even enjoy it too well. What's going on? You understand? And these fellas still could be outside, boy. Yeah, them still could be outside, man. What really going on? So this crime is a money making thing then. So the lawyer, the prosecutor, and the marshal, them just making money. Them know these fellas kill us and have them outside. Yeah? You know this fella kill. How they making jail? Eh? No. Police fella to sleep. Let these fellas know the time it is, man.
Morning, gentlemen. Shanika from Grandy, nicknamed Bobby, and the three wonderful gentlemen with kindness, very popular, knows the politics well. Grandy is very wet, the sort of weather. I have a plan on my phone from B-Mobile, so it's going to be off today, but it will be put back. I have to make some errands at Rima with a driver that I take for precaution. Okay, and all the best to the Prime Minister, as well you can say to the opposition now, who is in control, the Lord and UNC. And to you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Grandy here is very wet, and one day in person, I'm hoping to meet you all. From Grandy, as a Muslim, I say salam. I say sitaram to the Hindus and to the Christian in the name of the Lord Jesus, because the Lord is in control. Take care to the program. I'll just listen, but the plan is going to come out before 12 noon, so it will be put back on. I take my precaution to travel with someone. It's explanation of the air to you, Dr. Hoos.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Come on. The lines are open. But you know, again, some problem with the phone. So I'm trying to just organize. But make your calls, send your WhatsApp. Send a WhatsApp voice note. What's on your front burner? Come on, man. Hey, morning, Dr. Shyam Maharaj in Florida. Pleasant good morning to you. Let me say a blessing good morning to Joseph Tony. Tony, good morning to you. Oh boy, in the headliners of the Guardian. Cops duck work. Homeland Security Minister calls on officers to stop abusing sick leave. Man stabbed to death by female partner. This one was the saddest. Young footballer laid to rest. I don't believe that is what that voice note earlier on was talking about. Go by the motor count. Today's date on the Guardian is 154. You have to grab hold of this murder thing. The new government will come in. Obviously, things will be put in place. The Princess Town Rotary Club hosts a free medical outreach. Oh boy, man acquitted in a 2002 shooting of officers, including Homeland Minister. More charges could be arise from SOE cases, says a TTPS legal officer. Oh boy, our Attorney General John Jeremy is saying a committee to shape stand your grounds law expected by next month. Part that meets WASA staff says employees express relief for job security. Lennox Smith, have to, meanwhile you go ahead, I have to fix something because I can't get any box while they're dealing with this here because they are here. So you go ahead, I'll put you on the screen at this point in time. Go ahead by the time, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good morning to you, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good morning to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, a pleasant good day to you. Our profuse, of course, apology for not having a broadcast yesterday, but as Andy indicated, it's due to circumstances beyond our control. And if we had known that it would have happened, it means, therefore, we rest assured you would have had some apology or some kind of indication prior to. But it happened, of course, suddenly. It's the question of Murphy's Law operating. And, of course, that law says that when something has to go wrong, it will at the worst possible time. Well, yesterday was that. But I want to say that did not, of course, avoid people from, I'm sure Andy would have been getting the same thing as well as Mickie. Of course, communicating to us in our respective domains and our devices as to what has gone wrong. And therefore, of course, I had to constantly apologize to persons, not just in Trinidad, but of course in Tobago, in the region, and of course farther afield in the diaspora. And I want to once again, of course, to say that it was due to circumstances beyond our control. The system we have is that, of course, and Andy sits at master control, so to speak. And if something goes wrong there, it means therefore that all of us will be affected. It's not that we can be, we are independent. As far as the ground report is concerned, of course, we would have had, because I didn't have such a difficulty last night, so we did in fact have the corridor transformation on, and I suspect the observer would have been the beneficiary of such a, what I consider to be diversified, or put another way, we have multiple deployment, and so we have individual units, but coming together on a morning, as far as the ground report is concerned, to of course share and to educate, and we ourselves, of course, because it's not a one-way street, it's a question of reciprocity, where of course we would of course share what we know, and you share what you know, and just like AI, that is how AI develops artificial intelligence. And when you have, of course, all that body of information, because the best AI, as far as I'm concerned, is a human brain. There could be no better AI device than that of the human brain. And of course, my apology for calling the brain a device, but I'm doing it, of course, in the context of the technology and the terminologies that are commonly used in modern times. That being as it may, of course, there are a number of issues. Yes, I heard Andy mention the whole question of a particular individual that was, of course, freed because there was an allegation that he shot after officers, including, of course, when the current Minister of Home Affairs or was here, was a member of the police service. And of course, that case collapsed because the judge did not see as credible and logical the evidence that was advanced by the three of officers, including, of course, a former member of the police service, now Minister of Homeland Security. But that being as it may, there are other issues, of course. Yes, I agree as well that it continues to be disquieting, it's continued to be concerning. The incidents of killings in this country, and of course, I think the DPP got it right, very right on this occasion. A young man who, of course, saw his mother in peril, being, of course, attacked by a gentleman who both of them knew, and he made an intervention. He happened to stab the person. The person died, but of course, there was the general consensus and public opinion that he acted, of course, in defense of his mother. And the DPP, of course, asked the police to release him after he was kept in custody for some time. I think, given the facts of that situation, I think the DPP acted very, very correctly on this occasion, unless, of course, there's some mitigating here, in the sense that if it is that there may be something that we don't know, something that is clandestine, something that we have not been abreast of, in order, of course, to do something otherwise. But I think the best decision was to free that young man, and of course minimize his trauma, and at the same time, of course, giving him the best opportunity to carry on his life in a way that we expect young people to graduate or gravitate or evolve from one stage of their biological existence and their social existence in Trinidad and Tobago. So that is one issue. Let me just get to the newspaper itself, so that I'll be able to share with you some of the other headlines. Yes, I heard Andy speak about John Jeremy's pursuance of the stand your ground legislation. I think that is important. We have a situation where on the campaign trail, the now Prime Minister, Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa, she had indicated that, of course, there will be stand your ground legislation. And another piece of legislation that I think is also significant, that is engaging the attention of the Attorney General, which he, of course, he indicated recently, and it's that of home invasion. So there are two pieces of legislation. One dealing, of course, with what is called the protection of your castle, stand your ground legislation, and the other one is that of home invasion. So there are two pieces of legislation. My understanding is, and from the articles that we would have read this morning, is that a committee will be set up by the Minister of Homeland Security, so that that responsibility is with the with Roger Alexander, Minister, and he's supposed to put a committee in place to look at it, and of course have public consultations, because it may mean the infringing of certain fundamental laws, and maybe depriving people maybe of movement, or the tradition is that you must engage, whether it's an intruder or not, with reasonable force. And reasonable force, of course, is very subjective. Frankly, there is no objective standard to determine what is reasonable force, and that has found itself in our jurisprudence and in many of the case laws that you would see. But more importantly, the police will be the first determiner as to whether or not it was reasonable force or not used, and invariably people find themselves before the court defending themselves or a situation, and then of course having to exonerate themselves in the court, because the court may disagree with the police, but the police in the first instance have the judgment to determine whether or not, even though you were defending yourself, whether or not that action that would have been taken was reasonable in terms of the force used. So we have had situations where, of course, the people would have been stressed out by a regular thief, or regular breaking and opening of places, and then of course we have a citizen arrest, but in so doing they may of course dealt some blows on the individual, and not intended to kill him, but probably to teach him a lesson, and then of course he dies as a consequence, and then of course the entire group of persons who effected that citizen arrest excuse me, or would have been brought before the court for murder or manslaughter, as the case may be. So so we have that. Of course, it doesn't speak, that example doesn't speak directly to home invasion, but certainly I think it speaks to the fact as to what is constitute to be reasonable force, and that's the point I am making by bringing that example. So there we have it. Let me make sure and get to today's newspapers, so that I can abreast myself, and at the same time make certain that my information can be verified. And what happened? I'm in a different part of the building this morning, so I didn't put on the computer the information that. Right, good. So I have it now. Investigation ongoing. More SOE charges. I did mention that, but yes, that particular article refers to the situation where several persons were given notices by the then Minister of National Security to be detained. And what the police is saying is that whilst many of them, I think something of them would have been released, that was pending additional investigation, and what is being indicated to the public is that even though they were released, it was subject to those investigations and the possibility that as a consequence of the ongoing investigations, because of that retention, given the emergency detention consequential of the SOE, there may well be charges pending. So that is why that article was designed the way it was. No secretary appointed yet to replace Samson. I have not read that article, so I don't know. It's just that that is what it has said. But I love to be abreast of and understand what I'm reading or saying, so at least I can proffer some kind of explanation. But that is clearly well. In this case, I did not read it. Maybe I should reference it, and then as I have the time, as Andy has given me some yeah. Right. So no secretary appointed yet to replace Sampson. There's a Newsday article, and it states as follows: a replacement is yet to be named for Joel Sampson as the Secretary of Community Development. So that's as a result of course, Sampson, I think, contested the national elections on the 28th of April, and therefore his removal meant that there must be a replacement at the level of the THA. So youth development and sports in the Tobago House of Assembly, Sampson resigned from the post after being elected as MP for Tobago West. He was also the electoral representative for the Crown Point Bonaccord district. Right. So I think we get it gist as to what is happening here. He is, of course, a Tobagonian politician who was, of course, as a consequence of the last THA elections, that was, of course, handsomely won by the PDP. Here it is that he now has to resign that position that he was given as a consequence of that elections, and now that he has been elected the representative in the last elections, the House of Assembly, yes, he now has to resign, and as a consequence, what the article is saying is that there is no secretary yet to replace him at the THA. I think that is clear. Let me just read a little more about it, because I was when the various members were being sworn in the lower house, and I saw this young man say, but I don't know him. Of course, I wasn't getting any audio, so I didn't have the benefit of audio, so I wasn't hearing what the commentator was saying. But then I said, this face is looking very unfamiliar. And then, of course, eventually I realized that it was a Tobagonian, one of the Tobagonian elected representative, because I pride myself on doing all of them, especially in Trinidad. But of course, that slipped me on that occasion. So Sampson won his seat in the April 28th general election on a Tobago People's Party ticket, securing the constituency with a total of 6,713 votes, 109 votes more than PNM's Shamfa Kojo Lewis.
How much Shamfa get? How much votes Shamfa Kojo get?
Well, we have to just calculate. You have to deduct 109 votes from his votes, and you will get what she got, because he won by 109 votes. So it's not a convincing win, but nonetheless a win in the first past the post system that we have, of course, been practicing from time immemorial. All right. So that's the situation there with that. But I also found it strange as well, and it didn't pass my attention or my observation, that none of the former parliamentary representative in Tobago was considered on the Senate bench by Penelope Beckles, who is the political, well, not the political, but the leader of the PNM in the house, in the lower house, which gave us, of course, give her the authority to select senators. But none of them, and it tells a story as far as I am concerned, because we were saying that none of these representatives, they were bellowing, they were, of course, let's say, drinking or genuflecting at the feet of Rowley. One was, of course, in the office of the Prime Minister when Rowley was there. And we had always said that they are poor representatives of the people of Tobago. Well, I think the PNM itself has recognized that, because none of them have been seen fit to, of course, be in the Senate. And I say so because you had Al-Rari who contested, and he was brought back in the Senate. And I think we have another one or two of them who have found themselves on the Senate bench. And therefore, of course, it was conspicuous that none of the Tobago former representatives who lost, of course, their seats in Tobago were identified and were authorized to be a senator in the Senate. So it justified once again what we were seeing on the ground report, that these people, Sanfa Kojo and her counterpart, what's the name? The name slipped me now, but none of them seem to be capable of really representing at all, and their presence in the parliament, whether it be in 2015 or in 2020, was merely because of some other factor, but not the ability to represent Tobago. And I said so because when the PDP did in fact decimate the PNM 14-1 in spite of Dr. Rowley's attempt to get an unfair advantage by subverting the electoral process by inserting the additional three electoral districts. I would have thought, and we did speculate then, that these representatives, still representatives, Shafa Kojo and the other one, we thought that they would have done the honorable thing and, of course, join the PDP, or at least resign, because the writing would have been on the wall if they were true Tobagonians, if they truly was concerned about Tobago. But then we saw, of course, they stayed on, and the inevitable fact, the inevitable, should I say, beheading politically, of course, of these individuals was reflected in the results in Tobago of the April 28th general elections. So once again, we were correct. And I noticed, Andy, at the same time, I had to rub it in that all the pollsters and them have remained silent, whether it be NACTA poll and so on, because we were saying that it would have been a landslide. Of course, I was saying it's all 39 seats in Trinidad. Of course, but it turned out to be 28. Of course, the UNC getting 26, and the TPP in Tobago got the other two, which by all stretch of the imagination and from all indications, that is a landslide victory for the UNC, led by the current Prime Minister, Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and of course the coalition of interest. So once again, we were on the button, of course off by a few, but certainly those pollsters, those professionals, those people who Guardian and others would be paying big money for, including of course the PNM, to of course say things that would give somehow, they believe, edge to the PNM, while of course we on the ground getting a different signal, different indications, and of course it turns out that we were right, and now that they realize that they were wrong, but they have gone totally silent. So I think we have to, if nobody wants to, we have to blow our own trumpet and pin our own lapels, so to speak. A man fatally shot in Boss van while in traffic. So while of course we had what I consider to be a reasonable outcome with respect to that young schoolboy who of course stabbed that assailant on his mother, and the DPP making the right choice to, of course, set him free. We have a situation where, of course, in traffic, this incident occurred where, of course, a young man driving his boss van, it appears that the target was his boss, from all speculations, but he ended up dying instead in a very tragic loss of life scenario. I mean, cites neglect. Now talking about the current minister of, local government. Talking about Kadisha Amin, as she told, of course, Port of Spain and Diego Martin regional corporations. Well, regional corporation from the point of view that the Port of Spain is really a borough, not a borough, sorry, the city of Port of Spain, and Diego Martin has become a borough. So just to be more specific, while of course they would be incorporated into the Regional Corporation Act, they would be recognized as the city of Port of Spain and the borough of Diego Martin. So I want to make that very clear. Well, I mean, cites that, and she's saying that, of course, that there is neglect. The buildings and the working conditions are horrendous, and that, of course, her government, regardless of whether they would have been successful in these particular areas, because the reality is not, the facts are not that the UNC have found it very difficult to win these corporations or even get a councillor, because I understand my information is that in Port of Spain, for example, every single councillor is from the party called the PNM, and I think the same thing occurs for Diego Martin. But that is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that this borough houses the city, the main town, the capital of Trinidad and Tobago, and therefore must be taken care of. The streets are extremely dirty. I know when I was here in another incarnation, I think about 10 or 15 years ago, when I was here after, of course, we successfully were able to acquire the building that we are in now on George Street. Every morning we would see religiously vehicles, a water tank will be, of course, with its powerful pump, washing down the streets of Port of Spain from top to bottom, north to south, and of course east to west. That has been a noticeable absent these days. Since we are here on George Street, I have not seen that happening at all. So therefore, there seems to be a deterioration in terms of the concern for health and other factors, and to keeping the streets of the city clean. 2002 shooting case collapse. Alexander, yes, well, we talked about that already. 3 cops, of course, discredited. But again, the current Minister of Health is now looking at improve health services, and of course, talking about the extension of the services of health centers. So that will be on the cards, and extending services on weekends. I think at least beginning with on Saturdays. So that is a welcome sign, I'm sure. And of course, CDAP, controversial matter during the course of the Rowley and the Stuart Young, the Chinese man's administrations, even though he was there for less than a day as Prime Minister, that is. The fact of the matter is that there has been, of course, concern about the quality of the drugs, the availability of drugs under CDAP, and indeed, of course, the functionality of the system itself, because there were several pharmacies that were supposed to be incorporated in the system, so that these senior citizens who rely on medication for one reason or another, were not able to access. And when they have to, they may have to go to a centralized location, maybe the pharmacy in one or on the compound of one of the hospitals of the country. And that in itself, of course, presents some logistical issues, having regard, of course, to the fact that these are senior citizens and therefore mobility may be an issue. And it is nice to know that the present administration is now looking at that aspect of it, to one, have it available, to have the proper drugs, because we even had under the Rowley administration issues where the drugs were substandard, and therefore, of course, didn't make sense to the.
So it's like we're telling us there, Lennox Smith, it's like AOI, it's like we was getting D grade, F grade drugs, and now our government going and give we A grade drugs. Right. And then you mentioned too about the pharmacies. Is it that you're telling us too that normally not the pharmacies but the health offices, right, or in the various districts. Everybody have a health office in the district. We all know the last day of health office is on a Friday. So is it that you're saying that the new government is introducing the opening of our health offices on a Saturday too? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. Yes, that's right. And it was a campaign promise as well.
Very good,
so,
very good.
Immediately, these are low-hanging fruits that could, by the stroke of a pen, be changed. Of course, it's different to maybe, let's say, right now, for example, doing away with the points system, the merit point system, but they have to go to Parliament to, of course, effect that.
But so, eventually, I will like them.
Policy, you could just sign a document and that's it, and you could start opening these health offices on a Saturday. Go ahead.
Nice, but I happy that we will take it one step at a time. But I will also want, in due course, that health offices open on a Sunday too. A health office must not be closed. How about
I want to go further by talk about 24/7, but of course it may not be practical because you wouldn't get, because all of that would depend on the
manpower.
The usability, the usability, if you have 2 or 3 persons come into the health office, why would you want to have it, 24/7? What you could probably do is to designate a particular health office to cover a particular geographic space, and I think that will be much more practical and more effective. Yeah.
Very good, man. Things like what else you have for us? Let me say a pleasant good morning to you, Rodriguez. Ghost, a pleasant good morning to you. Go ahead, Lennox. What else you have for us there in the headliners?
A very important one. I think a very important one because it was an issue that the population was concerned with, and that is, of course, the court registers 10 billion. ConocoPhillips, remember that company that was subjected to the confiscation of its assets in Venezuela. And it took the matter, of course, to the World Bank-sponsored arbitration court, and they gave them a judgment in the vicinity of about 10 billion. Let me repeat, $10 billion.
Now, give us an idea of what it is you're talking about, because I don't know what you're talking about, and many other people that look onto us, I want to be on Guile, the Caribbean, Guile, Trinidad and Tobago yet. They ain't say boo yet. But I don't know.
Briefly,
give me an idea what that is about. Conoco is a Trinidad company? Is that Trinidad?
No, ConocoPhillips is an American company that was operating in Venezuela. Three fields that they were operating, 3 gas and oil fields.
Okay, go ahead.
And of course, Chavez, the former president, under his, of course, nationalization agenda, he took them away just so, including the people's assets. Just so. But Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago, for example, and about 160-something countries of the 190-something that makes up, of course, the world grouping recognized by the United Nations, signed an agreement with the World Bank to, of course, look at they setting up a particular tribunal in effect for disputes relating to governments and companies that from another jurisdiction that may be operating in that particular government's country. And in this case, the company, American company, was or is ConocoPhillips. That's the name of the company that was operated in Venezuela. And Hugo Chavez just, of course, took their assets and stopped them from operating. Well, they went into this World Bank sponsored and administered arbitration entity, and they got judgment of about $10 billion. So the arrangement is that any country that has signed on to that arrangement, and if that entity find judgment in their favor, they can now go to another country where that country may be operating in. And in this case, of course, they know. I mean, the Dragon Gas deal was a big thing, and therefore what they have done is file in Trinidad courts, to say that Trinidad court is obligated. Trinidad is obligated because we are part of that treaty to, of course, once they are paying money to any entity in Venezuela, that, of course, the first person that must be paid or be considered would have been ConocoPhillips in this case. And your favorite judge did, in fact, give the approval, because whilst Venezuela was saying that they have withdrawn, because eventually Venezuela withdrawn from that arrangement, and the embassies here would have known. According to the judge, that does not take away Trinidad and Tobago's obligation to accepting the judgment of that international tribunal that gave judgment to ConocoPhillips. And wherever Venezuela is doing business, where they can, of course, get their money, they would file in that particular court or that jurisdiction to get their money. So, and we found, and I think is instructive that we note that people like Stuart Young and the former prime and the other prime minister, former Rowley, were playing down that and saying that is no big deal and so on. In circumstances where deals were already made, the taking away of that license that was given by the United States was not in play at the time, but everybody knew that, of course, things were signed in Venezuela as far as the Dragon deal and the other field is concerned. That was part and parcel of it. So they quickly, of course, and they have a right to, they decided, of course, to bring the matter to the attention of the local courts to get the rights to, of course, confiscate or get the government of Trinidad and Tobago to give them first bite at any monies that is to be forwarded to Venezuela, with respect, of course, to the Dragon deal and the other deals that came out of the arrangement that the last administration was pursuing pell-mell, without, of course, consideration of anything as well. I suppose they have nothing to get now, because the present administration has said that deal has died, but it died before this present administration said so, because Donald Trump administration, with its advent, withdrew the license anyway, and therefore, of course, not BP, not Trinidad and Tobago could do anything about it, and therefore, effectively, it died as a consequence of that, first and foremost. Whether ConocoPhillips will now get anything at all, because we effectively, under this administration, we stopped doing business with Venezuela, well, of course, that is a matter. Probably they will pray in vain for the return of a PNM that will not come, not in this century, not in this lifetime. I think they could be considered to be effectively extinct as far as I am concerned. And of course, I think many people, because of what they have done to the population and what they continue to do in opposition, because I mean, it is unfortunate that they will bring back that Jurassic, that archaic position of trying to get what I consider to be advertisement in the parliament by putting back, of course, the balize on the tie. They are there in the chamber, in the parliament of this country, to serve everybody. It means, therefore, you cannot put
something,
on
Lennox, with that.
UNC tie
Let me ask something with that.
No Balize tie, and say that you're serving everybody. No. If you have on that, there you have the audacity to put on that to go there. It means you want to serve PNM alone. And of course, that must be decried, and we have a duty and responsibility. Penny could say that because they put on a little Balize, they start, and therefore that will give them some kind of political currency, and that they could get back into government soon, as they abandon all over the place. Well, I think it's not only hogwash, but I think it's an exercise.
Let me ask something.
Utility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parliament itself.
Yeah.
Knowing that the government, our new government is controlling parliament, can we not do legislation to make sure that ain't happen? That cannot come in there with that?
Well, not we. The parliament organize and manages itself. That's the first thing. Nobody could be more powerful than the parliament. So there should be, of course, standing orders to, of course, treat with that. Because if you and I go inside there with look like I was.
But hold 1 minute, Lennox. Hold 1 minute. Because all right, but hold 1 minute, Lennox. I go in and organize and force that very early. Because what I'm gonna do, I'm going to go down there with my media badge in the next parliament sitting. I'll make sure, remember, the media will be there. I'm going with the media badge. But I'm making sure I put on a shirt with a whole big UNC print on it and try to go in. And anytime they stop me, I go and create a whole scene and find out why them could go in with a symbol, but I cannot. I'm going to do that in the next sitting.
Well said. That
hold 1 minute.
Somebody
hold 1 minute.
Make these people know that they are there to serve the people when they are in there. When they come outside, it's a different story. They could do what the hell they want outside of the parliament, but certainly you can't come inside the parliament. And of all people, on two fronts, of all people on two fronts, I'm saying that Penny is a lawyer as well, so she should know better, and she's a long-standing politician and have been in and out of the parliament, and both in government and out of government, as is the case now. But of course, it is strange that Rowley recognized that, and they therefore banned the wearing of the Balize in the parliament, because that was introduced by what I consider to be a very autocratic and a very despicable Eric Williams.
Exactly, but hold 1 minute. Hold 1 minute. Go ahead, caller. Sorry about that. I don't realize you're there long.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay, Andy. Yeah. Good morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey, and to everybody out there. That's okay. It was very interesting to hear what it is Lennox had to say, and I agree with you, Andy. I agree with you. If they can go in with the Balize tie, we can go in with the UNC emblem as well. We can go in, right? But we don't want nobody else going in. We don't want no losers going inside of there. You know, the losers and them, that they come out of the dead zone now, and they open their mouth to talk, right? And Andy, let me tell you something, I only know I am a supporter of the ground report. I am a supporter of the corridor transformation, TC and Heavy, Future of Talk, Wall Street, and anybody who is pro-UNC, right? We have had enough negative things from the PNM, and all who want to come now and jump on the bandwagon and feel that they're going to ride the ground report back to push their nastiness concerning the UNC, they lie. I'm not supporting anything like that, Andy. And we have to take a stand against it, right? When the PNM was messing up this country, where were all those voices? And they see that Marsha Walker, and all who want to push Marsha Walker nastiness, Marsha Walker, they will reach, right? Look at her. She is so bitter. She just like the rest of the losers, all capital letters, just like the rest of them. She have nothing good to say. And every Monday morning and twice on a Sunday, she finding fault, and she finding a platform, right? The next set of losers to push her agenda. But all of them, let them continue it. we will be in their faces for the next 5 years, Andy, whether they like it or not. And every time they come with nonsense, we going to push back on them. I make up my mind for all of them, Andy, because we waited too long. And Andy, let me ask all this something. Let me ask you and Lennox something, right? All you see this government doing anything wrong yet? How many days? How many days we there?
No. They have not
exactly
made any fundamental mistake that will cause the storm in a teacup. Let me repeat, the storm in a teacup that these people are pretending that, of course, they have otherwise done.
Yeah, but you see, they're looking for kinks in the armor, right? They cannot believe that all what they say about Kamala, that the woman got the 26 seats, Lennox. They can't believe that. And they didn't get none. All of them lost their deposits. The losers lost their deposit. And now they have nothing to say, right? So they're riding now. They're riding Masha Walker back now to get information. And look at her. It's a shame. Look at little Kenya. Come and get Deputy Speaker of the House, right? The Speaker of the House or Senate, right. Look at where she is. Beating her mouth at every corner. Trying to preach the gospel of Masha Walker. And she have a set of hangers on, like, the barnacles that is near the bottom of the boat. That's useless. Have them hanging on to her. But we are not going to stand for it. And Andy, look, I'll go back to the story again with the Speaker of the House, right? What did the man do wrong? The man was exonerated, but hear what? He's going to be in their faces for the next 5 years. Let them live with it. Let them live with it. And the next thing, Andy, I know that you have the ears of Wayne Sturge. And I would like you to give him a little bit of advice. Do not give any interview again with the media. And any MP listening, don't give any interviews with the PNM media. And they took what the man said. These losers out there, these losers, took what the man said and turned it around, making it look as though Wayne Sturge never wanted the job and you're going to screw up the job and whatnot and whatnot. And for those who didn't know, let me tell all of you. He did an interview, right? The reporter asked him, this from what I read, this is what I gather from it, right? They asked him, he said he never wanted to be, how he think about being in that ministry. He said he never really wanted the ministry, right? Because he wanted to concentrate on his constituency, do all what he promised to do for them and build the constituency. He turned around and he said, and then Mrs. Pasabi says, I convinced him, right, that he can serve his constituency better by being in this ministry. And they ain't saying that part. Or they concentrated on, he never wanted the job, he never wanted that job. Let's move on again. He said that he was prepared, he was already his family was packing up to leave the country because of how the PNM was running the country and the crime situation in the country. And they did not say that. Now they come in, if you didn't want the job, and look at you was running, you was going, and anybody who could have afforded to leave. That is not what they were thinking. Pack up and go. All who run out of this country because they couldn't take what was going on again. But right away now, and if he can't do the job, he gonna be our next Hines, he gonna be our next failure. But his ministry has nothing to do with what Hines was doing. Everybody knew Hines was a failure. But Wayne Sturge is not a failure. Wayne Sturge is a successful criminal lawyer. Everybody inside of there are successes, not like the losers, all the losers who lost their deposits. Andy, I was a real mad, Andy. A real mad,
I'll see if I'll get interview with him this morning. I'll see if I can get interview with him this morning. So you go.
To see how they're thinking of this man, because they did not take the other part of the answers that the man gave. And I am appealing to all of them, Lennox, you included, all of you. Do not give any interviews to the PNM media. You see, Andy, that is why we keep calling for a boycott of the media, Look at the same thing they did with Prakash. Prakash never said what Akash Samaru printed. The man never said that. But you see what happened to them? It hurting them real bad. It's burning in places that it shouldn't even be burning. That UNC government, you know. That is what hurting all of them. And they can't handle it yet. I think just now we will see them like Christmas ornaments in the trees in the savannah. Wait and all you go see, because some of them can't take it again. But I want to tell them, we will be in all your faces for the next 5 years, whether all you like it or not, and all who want to run all your blighted mouth on the government that they ain't going to last long, they will last longer than all you. You hear? Because, Lennox, you could correct me, if anybody had to walk, might be the two union people. And if they walk, we have 24 seats. And I can't see nobody walking no way, because everybody want to build back this country. So all who want to run their blighted mouth, like how they was running it with the observers and everything, run it, continue running it. All you run all your mouth while Kamala running she business. Andy, thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you get through to him, and please explain to them, do not give any more interviews. Boycott the media. Boycott them. Thanks a lot, Andy, and have a good one. Later.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, next caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning? Time check. It's about 40 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock, and you're listening to the ground report, viewing the ground report. I want to be live on Guylet. All in telling me, man. All in telling me. Go ahead, caller.
A pleasant good morning, gentlemen. Calling from the Barrackport. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, my friend.
You know, you'll be hearing people talking about we have to unify the country and move the country forward and things. But you know, the same set of people would not genuinely support this government, and every single thing the government doing, they're doing what the both sides of the population was asking for. We want to see transparency. We want to see an active police service, and everything they're asking for. This Prime Minister and her government doing it. And you know, still, that they just want failure, no matter what. You know, it have people who will sacrifice their own children to try to prove a point. That is what is happening, especially with people like this Marsha Walker. Let me tell you something. She remind me of her old girlfriend long time, boy. Oh, God. I tell you, the girl was like a stone in my shoes. Anyhow, I turn. What you doing? What you doing? How you doing? Why you got to talk to that one? But I had to get rid of that woman. Otherwise, I would go mad. So, when I listen to this girl, she just so give me that kind of deja vu sense of that last bad experience I had. I tell you, the woman was like a demon. Same thing with this Marsha Walker girl. You see what went on for 10 years. You sit down and you even went and was part of that evil entity. Now, to get rid of bad politics and corruption in governance and things, now that you have a government that changed and doing exactly what you wanted, you still can't support that. That just doesn't show the mentality of certain people. But I don't waste time on them so. And concerning the issue with the Wayne Sturge thing, who was the first person who got a job in this country and say, I don't want a job? Not the same Dotish Rowley. Wasn't the night of his inauguration speech, he didn't say that, oh, I don't want to be no prime minister. You know? And he proved to the country that he held that position for 10 years and was the worst thing that ever happened in that office of a man being the prime minister under the Keith Rowley. I don't think if Wayne Sturge tried, he could do any worse than any of the PNM government that is in office. So, let me tell you something. It's only betterment could happen to this country. Every single thing from the 28th to the next 5 years and beyond is only better could happen to this country. The ones who don't like it and who hoping to see failure, trust me, you see that bad karma or the totem, go come back home in all your own door, knocking on your own doorstep, and all go hold all your head and ball. Trust me, you cannot ask for betterment and hope that the worst continue. When somebody is trying their best to make you yourself safer, more comfortable and a better person in Trinidad and Tobago. And if that is the mentality you want to continue and carry while this government is in office. You know, when Rowley them was in office, I never wished them bad. I never hope that they fail as a government, because no matter what, there's a government for Trinidad and Tobago. There was the government that I had to look up to. And I never wished them bad. All I wanted for to see things change and for the country to get better. I never say, I hope Rowley fail, or I hope Stuart Young fail, or I hope this one fail. And when you listen to these people and the negative sayers on them, they are wishing for people to fail. And that just goes to show the mentality and the character of certain people in this country. No matter what you give them, it would never be enough. And they would wish that the murder toll be 700, 800 under this government, and not knowing that 800 could be innocent, that could be their own family, just to see the government fail. You can be a human being. You can be a right-thinking citizen of a country. If that is the mentality you want to carry on. So, no matter what, people have their ways of thinking and their lifestyle and things. I do operate so. And I hope a lot of the good, decent people in this country don't think like how the Marshall Walkers and the Potter Spain and them this thing. We would make this place a better place, trust me. And like I said, it could only get better. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the day and be safe outside. Take care.
Thank you very much, caller. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the number one program, The Ground Report, this morning? Go ahead, caller.
Good morning. My name is Stacey and I'm calling from Sandy Grande.
Go ahead, Sandy Grande.
I was just listening to your program concerning my candidate, Mr. Wayne Sturge. Right? There is one thing I want to say. Right? I don't have any problem with my candidate. Right? Because Mr. Wayne Sturge have done pretty good as my candidate for Toko Sandy Grande compared to the 5 years that Roger Monroe was in office and for the 10 years that PNM was in government. Right? My candidate is not a dancey head. So everybody who is having issue that Mr. Wayne Sturge saying he didn't want the job and he didn't want the job, Mr. Wayne Sturge has his reasons why he said what he said. And I don't think that people should take what Mr. Sturge said to twist it around into their own words to make it an issue or a problem. Right? For the how much weeks that UNC is in power, I think the PNM people should walk to Sandy Grande and find out the amount of things Mr. Wayne Sturge has promised people that he will come back and do for them, that how much he has fulfilled already, for the how much weeks he is in Parliament. What Roger Monroe has done for the people of Toko Sandy Grande, what the PNM government has done for the people of this country for the past 10 years that they were in power, can't compare for the 5 weeks or the 3 weeks that UNC in government. Right? So I don't have any issue with my candidate. And I just want to say to the PNM narcissistic members, leave the UNC government alone. Leave them alone because they are doing a pretty great job without any help from the PNM government. Right? And to my candidate, Mr. Wayne Sturge, I want to know that...
It's MP now. It's an MP now. I and all on the trail and what you calling our candidate and then saying, oh shucks, our MP. Yes. So it's our MP now, not our candidate.
Mr. Wayne Sturge, I want you to know that the people of Toko Sandy Grande trust you, they believe in you, they have hope in you, and I know that you will bring forward the victory for the people of Toko Sandy Grande. You will give them the help that they need and they ask for. We are going to get it. We are not looking for anything from the PLM government because they had never done anything for us. All they had looked for was for and they forsake us. they had forsake us so many years. And I am glad that we got a candidate with a high spirit that is willing to do what he promised that he's going to do for the people of Tokosa and the Grandy. So, Mr. Winsor, big up to you. And to hell was with the PNM government.
Hey, hey, I like that.
Bang, 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 bang.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the Ground Report, the #1 program in Trinidad and Tobago on the morning. But before you start, let me say a pleasant good morning to those of you that look on to us on Guile the Caribbean, Guile Trinidad and Tobago. For those of you on Guile the Caribbean, Jamaica, Guyana, all of you, Dominica, all of you that are look on. A pleasant good morning. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Lennox. Good morning to my Ground Report family. And you know, it's so many things that that has to be said. That they'll take it. But anyway, I want to say this morning, thanks to Miss Santa Cruz, thanks to Mr. Balfour, and I hope the people are listening more and more every day what we are up against in this country. And as I like to say, let me keep it real. People keep saying, at least some of them keep saying, PNM then lose the election, move on. But Andy, we cannot move on. Because these PNM are in our faces every day, and they are on a path of destruction. You understand? It will have nothing but fixing and TNT, because you see how they had the people for the past 10 years. They go talk about it every day. They want to see the suffering continue. They want to see the confusion continue. They want to see the murder continue. And any effort that this government will make to fix things, they would want to come and criticize and condemn them. But let me tell you this morning, you see, this dance is not for the soft people. It is not for the faint-hearted, yeah? Once you have now the UNC has government in Trinidad and Tobago. I heard the Prime Minister saying something else about I'm not going to abuse her power. She would never do that. She's too much of a gem to do that, you understand? But there's a difference between abuse. And you see that these PNM are talking to all their ministers this morning. Yes, all you will do all your work. I know all your and performance will beat also. But let me tell all you this. You see them PNM, just keep it in all your head every day. They want each and every one of all you to fail. Yeah, that is the plan. You understand? They not care about the people of Trinidad and Tobago or Trinidad and Tobago rising and fixing. No, they want to make the UNC. So once all you have that in all your head every day, all you will know exactly who all you're dealing with. Yeah? It didn't have no niceness to them, you know. It didn't have no dirty just ghetto. Yeah, it's not really work on them, but in the point is this, you have to keep them PNM people in the lane. You understand? They are out of government, and they still want to act as if they have a thought. Oh, and then, you know the media, what do you think you're going and interviewing all these PNM people for? People, once you know what you are up against, you know what you're dealing with, you have to be strong, you have to be brave, you have to be bold, and let them know. Let them know. It might sound bad, but let them know. We, the UNC, is in government now, and it is their responsibility to fix this country. And all them who fail, just go in some corner and sit down and leave Trinidad and Tobago, leave the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and leave this government alone. Understand? And ministers and things, be strong. And remember, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, there are people here who will always find fault. So just be strong and do all you have to do and tell the whole pack of them call, you understand? And another thing I want to talk about Andy. Andy, I am watching the news, I think it was last night. And I am watching the Princess Town fire station. Andy, what went on in this country? And then they say, don't talk about what went on in this country for the past 10 years. I am watching at the condition of that fire station, and I am saying, whoever is this fire chief and whoever is the so-called officers who working in that, they should be ashamed. But I see the Minister of Homeland Security going there. The roof falling down, the door falling down. They still have a rat investigation. Where were the men in the station for the past 10 years when PNM was there? Nobody protested. Nobody said nothing. Nobody. Now you and to come now and fix all the mess. And they want to fix it now, but they're going to be fixed. But all you, just remember, all you sit down there and let everything deteriorate and come in a mess. You understand? UNC going to fix it, but the point is this: nobody, you see, Miss Santa Cruz, Mr. Barford, and all the people on the ground report, and we must keep watch every day. We must defend this government every day. You understand? Because if we don't know and we don't realize that there are people in this country, their plan is to destroy this government, but we are not going to let it happen. Because I'm watching them, I see them in the San Fernando, I think it's corporation. They come out and they're protesting. Imagine, the man, I can't remember what he come out and say, it has pigeons, it has rats, it has snails. But them pigeons and them rats walking there on the 29th. And so the point is this, why it is, just say, they never get it fixed, but all you take all your time, right? And then let me go. And the thing about it is, the money missing in the corporation, some 89,000, it's about time we start questioning people and asking them where the money gone. Too much money in this country was abused. Money that the people need. They have to ask, if they can't ask the question, bring in foreign people to question them to find out where all these millions and billions go. Trinidad need the money. The people of Trinidad need the money, understand? So people, as I said, let us go on, let us be aware that we have to continue supporting, continue working with this government. It ain't that election done, let me move on, election done thing now start. You get something, you have to work hard to keep it. And the PNM should know, as I tell them already, you see what you do 2010 and 2015, that ain't going to happen again. And you see my Prime Minister, she acting in a different kind of mode, and I like that. All you be tough, be strong, say what all you have to say, do all you have to do, and let me get this thing fixed. And one more thing I want to warn you, Lord, I've been too long. I was yesterday on Iran, and that young man, 22 years, they went to kill the boss and they kill him. Or they went to kill somebody. You could cry and fuss and bring them back. No, they're gone forever. You understand? So I am hoping that the ministry, Alexander and Mr. Phil, Minister, all you be tough, be strong. I don't want all you to have no mercy on them criminals. You understand? People that talk about them have human rights and they have no. You have to make an example. And when people see you serious, they have respect. How will you can go on San Fernando on the big bright road and kill a young man 22 years? That has to stop. When all you see them, kill them. I say so, kill them. Yeah, don't matter where straight arrest them, you understand? My only concern is that they get the right people. I don't want no innocent body to be hurt. But they have to get this crime in a certain way that these people have to know you're coming to get them, you're coming. Yeah? But they want to kill innocent people. So, you know how that young man's family feeling today? What is going on in this country? You understand? And the only way the community know that you serious is when you take the fight to them and deal with them. And I find Ian Allen is doing a good job, and as he said, the people trust him. All hands on deck. All hands on deck. Let us work with any and everybody who could come together to solve this crime in the country. This government must let them know from early o'clock what time it is. Don't give them time to settle down. They watch it all here. Let them see all your serious and let them see all you mean action. Time for talk, done, action. And when you see all them up in pretenders coming to tell all you, but police kill this one and police kill this one, they investigate it. I don't want nobody to tell you, understand, but yeah? Because I want the police to do their work, you understand? But we have to fight fire with fire in this country if we want a new Trinidad and Tobago to the benefit of all citizens. People, let us work together, let us pray together, let us support our government, and let us do what has to be done. And when you're doing the right thing, you will be criticized and condemned. But don't worry, as long as you know what you are doing right, let who want to talk, you understand? enough is enough. We have to fix this place. And we have a good government, and nothing in this government is supposed to go to waste. Every section, every ministry, everything will be dealt with. And as long as the people support, and they know that there are people out here who are loving them, praying for them, and supporting them, we will make this country the country that we are. You know, we hope to see better days. Blessings, Andy, and only keep up the good work. Blessings on the ground for family.
Thank you very much, Mommy Roadbrook. Patricia Reed, you're very dishonest. Based on what makes sense and what it makes sense. You say, ask where the office is. Again, Parliament only opened Friday last week gone. Everybody, down to a fool, knows that the Parliament deals with the rental of buildings or office place for the MPs. Just have to send the funding for the MPs, staff, secretaries, and all those things. You fool. So while the Parliament open Friday, or if you see things are put in place for some of the new MPs to have an office up and running, many of them don't have the office up and running yet, and it's understandable. Because in order to have the office up and running, they have to get money from Parliament. And in order to get money from Parliament, the Parliament had to intervene back, which it did Friday. Some seen within 2 weeks' time or so. Many of those UNC MPs and them will have their offices up and running, where their constituents could go visit them. The next thing, yeah, all right, yeah, Isaac Shadow MP. Where is our MP? And Andy's right side by side with him. If you want to say Shadow, I's wearing Shadow. For matter of fact, I'm going to say MP wearing Shadow. He deserves his accolades. Not like Dirty Rowley. I ain't going to put no doctor to that. I could afford to say, Attorney at Law, the Honorable Wayne Sturge, and Defense Minister Wayne Sturge, and MP for Tocos and the Grande Valencia, Wayne Sturge. It is what it is. Let's continue. The lines are open. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the Ground Report. What's on your front burner this morning? What's supposed to make news that not making news? Again, a pleasant good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning to you, Andy, Lennox, Mikey, all the listeners, share the live, and to all right-thinking citizens and citizens who know we had made a right choice. And I'd like to ask what is my front burner, what didn't make news? What did make news to know that India borrowed $2 billion and two separate a loan to fix road, and up to now the road is fixed. One, you take the first billion to fix the road, patch road, and rehabilitate the bridges and them. We see no set of work there. We want to know where the money going. That didn't make news. The second one he take is went to for consultation and to traffic management and to do a consultation to better the traffic gridlock in this country. We see that program yet. We want to know where that money going. That didn't make news. Excuse me. And then what did make news is that Faris Awari, right? Them fellas have a question to answer because they had the government, the local government where he was representing. It had contractors who get contract, right? And we want to know their affiliation. That didn't make news. When it do make news, they kill it as fast as a fella shoot a drive-by shooting. What did make news, right? When Penelope Beckles, I would like to ask if she family get any contract just before the election. We want to know if that didn't make news. What did make news is to know that Foster Cummins, when he was in the ministry, in the Chatham Youth Camp, has been finished, and how much children youths have been trained in the Chatham Youth Camp. That didn't make news. I want to know if there was any news. And then I want to let everybody, the good news is that my political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Sessa, has get some new underwear, brassiere, and panties, and shoes, and lipstick. So she have a new look. So all I can talk about that. All I don't talk about the old one she have. And what it make news is one that when the Paula Gopi school spent $26 million to buy a scanner, and we see it yet, right? And then when Rohan Sinanan and them give a contract to fix a highway to Point 14, and it's 10 years it is finished, and the mosquito crack, we didn't get the report how that fall in, and who responsible to fix it. So I want to let my member of parliament, Mr. Wayne Sturge, to know that yes, he didn't want the job, and you know why? I will tell the people why he didn't want the job. Because when Roger Monroe, you see Roger Monroe as a member of parliament neglect the people, and then he renting buildings and collecting money and enriching himself. He didn't want, he feels sorry because as a lawyer, he knew he had to go and prosecute Roger Monroe for misbehavior in public office. So you see, these are the things that make news. And what didn't make news to know that the people who negotiated the 4% didn't get a back pay and they didn't get the settlement, right? And yes, what didn't make news that Rowley was a bully and a dictator to his cabinet, that they could not talk. I know people, the yoke is off the neck, so they're coming out to talk. People talk. That why they can use now to show that all the ministry and the corporation and them, right, was neglected under the PNM. Under the PNM. And Paris a question to answer why. And India have to say where the money went. Because if these people are complaining now, because they could free to talk, that did make news. Because why? They was muzzled. So the people have freedom, true freedom to talk and express themselves. So the question to ask India, where the subvention for these corporations to upkeep, where is the money? And I can say more, but I would like to let Trinidad and Tobago know that on the corridor transformation tonight, you all will hear more. Have a nice day, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much. Next caller.
Of course, I sent you a clip where Rowley confessed that he didn't want the job.
Yeah.
Just to, of course, show up those hypocrites that, of course, are conveniently what I consider to be in a state of not just dotishness, but certainly absent-mindedness. So just I'll be out momentarily, and I'll be back. I certainly will be back, but I'll be out. So you can play that so that people get a reminder, and we reinforce what we are saying about these hypocrites.
I agree so much. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, ground report to Napuna, Andy, Lennox, Mickie, and the ground report family.
And the Gayal family too.
Andy?
And the Gayal family. That block one. Yes.
Before I make my political contribution, Andy, I want to say how ashamed I am of this country and the business community. Because here it is, we have this young girl, Christian Bedesi, this girl who has excelled in academics, 17-year-old girl, and has a bright future ahead of her, and her aspiration to be a representative at the United Nations and what have you. And to raise, and to bring Trinidad and Tobago to the forefront, in terms of achievement in education, and be one of the brightest child in the world. I put it in this way, this is how it is. And this child has been afforded an opportunity to attend Yale University. But here it is, Andy. She's still falling short of just look at the meager summer money. $4,000 US. You hear me, Andy?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
$4,000 US this child is falling short of to help her in her endeavors. The mother said that they have written 80 letters, 80, to corporate businesses in Trinidad and Tobago. And you want to tell me that none of these people have responded to assist this child, Andy? I mean, it's a shame. You have all these big chain link at supermarkets and whatnot, and who boast how much money they just make for the year. You have all these 1% businesses. You have unit trusts. You have so much big thing from the 1% and all of this. And you want to tell me $4,000 that nobody could come about, or anybody to contribute to helping this child? I mean, it's a shame, Andy, when billions of dollars have been squandered in this country. Not squandered alone, but then stolen. And I am calling on the Prime Minister of this country and the government to come to the rescue of this child and make sure that that money, because here what it is, they say this child, they know what they get? They get permission from the St. Joseph Convent to host a donut sale. Could you imagine that? A child with that ambition, put Trinidad and Tobago on the map, have to have a donut sale to raise funds. Yale University. That is that aspect of it, Andy. I hope people come forward and help this child. Okay, that's one. Secondly, we have to remember, and as Ms. Barapo and Mr. Woodbrook say, people want to see this government fail. We have been criticizing not because of the thing that we hope that the PNM government fail. We wanted to see the success. But they fail miserably in everything that they do. And this is what people criticize them for. And then they inaction, they fail to do what was necessary. And what they did was a failure. So this is what people were criticizing them for. But you see now, when you check it out, you have the media. And let me tell you something. Watch this PNM President, Christine Kangaloo. Because she is reading the Riot Act. She is preaching the PNM gospel to the Prime Minister. And telling she what she should do and what she shouldn't do and what not. I think, Madam President, send in your damn resignation letter. Hear why? You was the one who fired your Wala Rambaran. You was the one there, and you talking about artificial intelligence and the government in that they dealing with that. You telling the government to deal with the service commissions and what have you. All of them fall under your purview. Where were you when the PNM government was tampering with all the service commission, EBC, the police service commission and all of that? Where were you? Why didn't you open your blasted mouth? Huh? You even take one of the police service commissioner, Mr. McNish, who was involved in that fiasco when the last president, Paul Abe Weeks, and this Britsy Passad, the head of the police service commission. He was part of that thing that went along with the withdrawal of the miracles by Keith Rowley and whatnot, and said nothing. It's only when the pressure come on to them, then they submitted the resignation. And you now appoint that very said man, McNish, onto the independent bench as an independent senator. Huh? And the media, the president, and so much other people involved want to see this government fail. Now, as a commenter, Wayne Sturge, look at the two issues that he has tackled already. One is the deportees that come into Trinidad, who American deporting back. And the issue with the people who are in Syria and whatnot and thing, who went there to fight and whatnot and thing. And he has dealt with it, and he's dealing with that. There are so much other matters on his plate as a government minister responsible for security and whatnot. Look at what Roger Alexander is doing too. Look at what the Minister of Education is doing with. All these ministers are at work. The government, the PNM government, the spokesperson for all ministries was Stuart Young and Rowley and Imbert and them. But in this government, all the ministers have the responsibility to account for their stewardship. I want to just draw your reference to something, Andy. This Amy Brown, who was former minister, foreign affairs minister, is criticizing the government for exposing those people who received the Muslim parties and whatnot and things. Taxpayers' money is being spent, Amy Brown. And don't come and tell me about you're putting these people's life at risk. Because why? People could, victimize them and whatnot. You have to remember, under your government, Amy Brown, people were receiving, and then again, this next one, Alison West, talking about the contract that to the PNM people and the renters and whatnot of buildings and what have you were always there for public scrutiny and whatnot. You're lying. Only when the opposition and them raised concern, even had to file under the Freedom of Information to get more information of who getting who they're renting from and whatnot. You even have the Attorney General when the opposition was asking who are the lawyers that get in briefs and what have you. You fail to everything because you say what? You're putting their life at risk and whatnot. It was too much blasted secrecy, too much corruption. That all they didn't want a thing, and people were crying out for transparency and accountability. And this government is hell-bent, and as you read the riot act to her ministers, we are going to make everything transparent. We are going to lay all bills, all reports, everything into the parliament, of all commission of inquiry, everything. We are going to put it and lay it in parliament. We have nothing to hide. And this is what the people voted her for. But you see, you have to look at it objectively, Andy. The media, the president of this country, and all of them who are hell-bent on putting a spoke in the wheel of this government. And I am saying that all these government ministers, you have to ignore the media and them. Now, that means to say that if they ask you a certain question, you respond in a certain way. We're not doing like Rowley and them who abuse the media and whatnot. But we have to be very, very articulate when we're responding to the media because they will twist everything. They will twist everything to make it thing and to highlight it because remember the media is the 1% people who are the financiers of the PNM. You think Akai Samaru and them had to sing for their supper? Because it's Sabganem who controlling CNC3 and the Guardian. And them have to put things in a certain way to make this government look bad. But I will tell you something. I'm glad that they're doing it because it's showing them up. And it's showing up the employers and the people, the 1%, the influence that, well, they have no more influence in this country. Because I think they should recognize this. This is why they would realize, because the Prime Minister, mentioned about the Forex cartel. And this is no ordinary thing. And they realize that they will be squeezed. You see now they was running to Guyana to get foreign exchange and to do and pay bills and whatnot. I think the business sector, yeah. But even the Vice President of Guyana, Barajan, came out and made a statement that the people here, the business people, is taking advantage of that situation there. Because I think if I can remember, there was an article where they changing was $4 billion. And with Trinidadians business people going there and looking for foreign exchange, it went up to $9 billion. This is not to put business investment, to creating opportunities. These people are depositing these monies outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's really because the banking sector and all of them involved in this conspiracy, And I am calling. We want an immediate removal of the governor of the central bank in this country. Because these people are them, Andy. All of them is part of the whole PNM bacchanal and the mafia. And unless we don't deal with these things, Andy, this government is going nowhere. Thank God that Kamla Pasabi-Sess and them is now in power and they will expose everything. I hope the Minister of Finance will come out and lay his report finally, and very soon, let the people know what is the crisis and what is the state of the economy.
Thank you.
Okay, Andy?
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunapuna.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Yes, and I am listening to Mr. Tunapuna's contribution. Yes, it's a little lengthy, but the line's open for everyone else. We'll have the numbers. While you see my head down there on the phone there, blasting out the #1 program. Remember, we wasn't on yesterday, really. So blasting out to the over 15, 20,000 listed people to my phone on the ground report. I've listed for the ground report. Let them know how to link us, how to find us. And what we have to do, we have to do. Go ahead, caller. Good morning to you. Where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report? What's supposed to make news that not making news?
This is Granny. Granny from Catoliqua. I called to tell you, Lennox Smith and Mickie, also including TC and Heavy, all you, and Anil Robert has bring out everything too, for we elderly who doesn't know. God bless all you, God bless all you. I called to say that. And I called to send a message from Marsha Walker. Marsha Walker, what you really want to do before you do something to help the country to go good and help the country to go further for the youth. What you want to talk about my Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad, you cannot put your ugly face in see dirty shoes. So stop all that nonsense you doing, Marsha Walker. Because when you was with the UNC, you wanted to take over the UNC party, but you cannot take over nothing. So all that nonsense, Marsha Walker. All the boys, God bless all you, and all you will keep good. Don't ever let them to that day. God bless all you save that country. All you save Granny. Granny, she want to dead because she feeling she could dead. Granny want to live now. Granny want to live to hear all your boys. God bless all you. Granny, enjoying the program.
Thank you very much, Granny. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you, caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
I find out morning Andy, Lennox and Mickie. I find out let's come on a little later now. But I know all will be on anyway. Yes, I want to say to the president, 10 years you sit down on your throne. I never heard your voice, Miss Madam President, but all of a sudden now, you want to be in demand. You demanding and you want to make sure things happen. Well, let me tell you something. It's too late for that. We have a government, a new government. We have a princess. She's the queen of all, right? And she on top now. And you all have to understand that. She on top. Don't make no demands, because when the ex-file was there 10 years, all you wasn't making no demands. And all of a sudden, all you want demands, and all you want to say, all you want that. No way. Take all your time, not because you're the president. Take your time. And I want to say, I want to enjoy Indian Arrival Day, right? And I'm looking for headpiece. I rock to wrap my head and I can't get. I can't get it no way. All you could remember before election, I used to be well properly. My dress and my headband and my head wrap was in same color. Well, all the colors in the store one. I went to look for a certain material to get a wrap on my head, and I have to look sexy and nice. You know all one? You know why it gone? Because before election, they buy out all the bolts and the material, the pretty color. So right now we don't have any. But I have to enjoy my day. The money gets so small now. If you used to get 40, it's 20 or 15 all you're getting. So I can't even buy a piece of wrap to wrap my head and look nice and sexy. Oh, God is a shame. But all you have to remain right where all you is. All you have to remain right there. We have to be on top now. This is our time. And we have to enjoy it. All you stay right where all you is. Be a transition leader. All you will remain right there until God ready for all you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report? What's supposed to make news that not making news? Go ahead, caller.
Pleasant good morning, brother Andy. Pleasant good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Mickie, Lennox, this is all your boy Carnage in the house. Pleasant good morning. Now, Andy, today is supposed to be the 28th of May, right? And as a result of that, is only approximately, let me say, 25 to 26 days ago, the election, well, a month ago, the election was won and a government has been changed. And right, since the government has gone into office, the finance minister and Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissassa, they were searching to see how much money it have in the country. And Trinidad and Tobago, if only have sense, Trinidad and Tobago, only see what the former administration did to this country where money is concerned, where it was using the people. Up to the last minute of the election, Trinidad and Tobago people was getting used. Just imagine the people of Diego Martin West, all who supported the PNM, for the PNM to stay into power. All it was getting used and all they don't even know. All it was getting used. Just imagine Dr. Rowley take a man and want to put him on all year, and all still went and supported when the whole of Trinidad and Tobago was yellow. Diego Martin West stay. We supporting PNM. Wrong, all year, wrong. But the lady, which is Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissassa, she will see about that. And when she done with this country, and I tell all that, I was telling all that for 10 years, that man mean good to this country. And when she done with this country, all you could say all you want. It won't have a PNM again. And my ministers and them, from Alexander after everybody, all you know what all they're doing, please. Know what all they're doing as ministers, please. All you know going in office, don't rush nothing, don't fight nothing, don't be greedy, don't be hungry to this and that. Please, Trinidad and Tobago, because they want to see the coalition mash up. So don't let us be a repeat of 2010, please, because it started as the same thing. When 2010, when she won the election in 2010, the first thing that man did was put on she boots and it had flooding in Diego Martin, if all you could remember. And she come out and she numbers and do all what she do. She take care of this country for 16 months. And the people at Trinidad and Tobago, because of Dr. Kid Rowley, say she steal the Indian and them thief. I will always tell all of that and always vote out that woman on the basis that she steal. And look today, God give her another chance. And I show Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissassa mean best to this country. Trust me, Marsha Walker, I ain't ready for you yet. Marsha, but you go hear me. This is Brother Carnage in the house.
Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the Ground Report, the #1 program in Trinidad and Tobago in the morning. What's your front burner? Where you calling from? What's supposed to make news that not making news? Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Pleasant good morning again, Andy. Barak for here. Andy, I don't really do this, and I really mean any disrespect for anybody or anything like that. But it has some things I just have to bring to the forefront because it's so remarkable. Now, my grandmother is a kind of Spanish Indian, kind of similar like Marsha Walker. And that lady had every fruit tree on she land. She used to live by herself. Big governor, plum, pomsite, mango. Boy, and it's the sweetest set of fruits you'll get in the world. But when we land down there, it's about 15 grandchildren, when we land and we start to raid them plum tree and tamarack tree and thing, boy, she should take out she false teeth and put it and hide it and come out. And you see just how Marsha Walker does look, just how the lady used to look, boy. She lift them and fall in a kind of way, and she used to have all our skating, running. Man jumping down from tamarack tree, man jumping off a plum tree and busting it out of there. Because we feel was some bad spirit come now, because she used to come out with a kind of white dress take out she false teeth, and boo, and boy, 15 grandchildren running through bush and getting scrape up and all kind of thing. And then when you see me come back up in front now, she go come back up and say, where all you was? You know, that kind of mentality. But you talk about Bacchanal, and from the time the first day I ever see Marsha Walker, I say, oh God, my grandmother live back by. I tell her that woman is spit with how she mouth has been, with all the false teeth, see where Marsha Walker. But it ain't no disrespect, just something I say, let me share. Have a good morning again, Andy. Take care later.
Thank you very much, caller. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the number one program, The Ground Report, this morning? Go ahead, caller.
Good morning. I'm calling from Grandy. My contribution is what I didn't see it on news. What happened is that it's like that they found a snake in Parliament on the second floor. But my view stated that snake was not a normal snake. It was a spirit sent from Tobago. And also the road now have a spirit to create accidents, and it coming from them. So that's my contribution. Have a blessed day. Report, Mr. Lennox, Mr. Andy, Mr. Mickie. God bless him.
Thank you very much, Grandy caller. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Morning caller, where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the Ground Report? Move from the background. Move from the television. Listen to us on the phone. Move from the television.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning to you, Krishna.
Yes, man, I'm locked on here right now. I've got a problem. When somebody's called us by Andy boy, Puna. This next no call back for. She for them to call and we can't get a call in by then last week. See what happening? Have a time phrase now. When you call in, give us time to talk. Because people want to get in. Right people. And them calling and talking a whole hour straight. Santa Cruz. Wood broke. All of them, Andy.
Oh, Krishna, where you interfering with, but you go ahead, you're interfering with trouble.
No, what I'm saying, right?
All right,
what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying. This call is calling in, right? It's a one that's going to make contribution too. And the client is the longest staying, boy, too long and the boy. Right? Locked on.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
continue, let's continue. It is what it is. At least my Krishna get a call in and make his contribution. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution in the morning program, The Ground Report this morning? Welcome. What's supposed to make news? That not making news. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, everyone. Listen, it have no doubts about it. Kamala, the UNC didn't just come in power just so. When God talk, no man back. Is God have them there. So who want to be relevant? Who want to say this? When God speak, no man back and say nothing. It's not them have the self-day. It's God day. So nobody can say nothing. They would not fail because it's God put them there. And I know the citizens of this country, just be praying for God to give them wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, and for Miss Kamala to be stronger and and to do what she has to do. Listen, her focus is to go through with all the campaign promises. That is her focus. All what she says she's going to do, that is her focus. So Marsha and whoever could say what they want. And when Marsha talking, it just goes to show what people have inside, is what they have inside of them, is the kind of mind they have, One of the reasons why PNM lost is because no transparency, no accountability. I said before, what you think Sanders back out from us for the previous time is because non-disclosure and all kind of foolishness that PNM wanted to not relate to the country, what going on, so they see in the bacchanal. But that is one of the reasons beside corruption. And Alison West had said, with the rentals, Ministry of Finance, the space some. That's why I don't have no lease. That is to tell you the corruption that was going on. So Colin Embert was paying who he want to pay rental fees, rental for services for rental, no lease. So Colin Embert was doing what he wants from the Ministry of Finance because she say Ministry of Finance was paying somebody rental every month because it had no lease. What fool? You see how taxpayers' money, that is just a typical example how taxpayers' money used to be spending while no accountability, corruption, no transparency. If you have a house, Andy, won't you have a lease for your tenant? Won't you have a lease? And that would be little money, $3,000 or so. But this is hundreds of thousands of dollars and no lease for that. And the Ministry of Finance was just making check then, no lease. That is to tell you how PNM was operating and all these billions of dollars they had. And they didn't concentrate on helping the public servants, giving people what is due. I like when a government is for the people, that is where people will continue to vote for them, where the white cross section. You see how she wants to do the increasing hours in the health center and CDAP and the merit point and the negotiations, all that is for white cross, whether it's Indian, whether it's half Indian, whether it's African, whether it's Chinese, whether it's whoever, you're getting part of the produce or the coffers of the country, because she ain't going to ask, hey, you are PNM, so you ain't getting your 10%. Use a PNM, so you understand? So her focus is to fulfill the campaign, and who want to talk is God put them there. And I like how Barrapo and the lady from Woodbrook and Tunapur and all of them and Anna and them just talk from Santa Cruz, all of them they'll be talking. Don't care what people say, God put them there, so they're not going to fail. Is God put them there? They didn't put themselves there. Is God, and God is higher than any human being. So nobody back and say nothing. And God.
Thank you very much, caller. Go ahead, caller. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to everybody who's on your line. Andy, listen to this now. You see this fella called Krishna, I want to tell him something. You see Auntie Woodbrook? Leave Auntie Woodbrook alone for my peace. You see Auntie Santa Cruz, leave them alone for my peace. Because let me tell you something, Mr. Krishna. Where you was in any of the matches and then? You was there when he was getting thrown into buses and tear gas. You was tear gassing me. I never forget that fateful Sunday, you know. I never forget that, you know. Were you ever there in any of the matches? You understand? These people were there in sun and rain fighting to get rid of this wicked, evil, despicable PNM who mash up our whole entire country. And they come and have to come here now, right? And try to fix this country because why? Because PNM mash it up, right? But you complain about Mr. Tenapuna and Miss Woodbrook and all these people who fight for this country. Look, boy, just dress back. You understand? Take a rest. You understand? And leave us in peace if you can make a proper contribution, right? Stay home and behave yourself, right? God bless.
Andy, you got the thing and played it? I just.
I was waiting for you.
All right, okay.
Go ahead, caller. Morning to you.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from and what's your contribution?
Trinidad and Tobago. I'm calling from Pity Valley.
Go ahead, Miss Pity Valley.
Andy, I want to tell Faris Harari. He playing smart with Chupanese, so he's trying to play smart with Chupanese. You see, he told you how much money to get rid of 2 men, and he's free, so he feel he could talk Chupanese. Faris Harari is claiming that the property tax money that was collected, it went in the whatever fund.
The consolidated fund, which it goes straight back to the government. The consolidated fund.
The impression we all got is that money is going to be used to the regional corporations. So when Faris Harari went to tell me that, so when the money is going to be taken out of the consolidated fund to put in the regional corporations. But you see, during the election, I heard, I don't know if anybody else heard that money was taken from that regional corporation money and put into the CPEP. So they could hire more people. They was calling people and telling them the name sent down and the name going down. You understand? So let us wait and see when it is. Anyway, people are not going to pay their property tax again. And one more thing I want to say. People believe that this is the first time that was NAR proposal to take the money and give it to the regional corporations. And Cannon Valley say over his dead body. So it still come back today over the dead body. They're not giving regional corporations any money. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Next caller, good morning to you. We're calling from what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
And good morning, a pleasant good morning to everybody. I want to ask you the next question. He may have more ideas in this area. Seeing, I want to listen to me. I've seen that we have so many accusations or charges and everything against the PNM people. For example, we have the Achille Chambers investigations, their names are called, like one. We have the Alwari case with the children. We have Stuart Young with his stepdaughter. We have Emailgate and so many other things with evidence. My question is, why can these people be locked up? I just asked that question. And I want you to, somebody, let us answer me, please. Are we in it?
Well, I will stay there, Lennox Smith. Why they can't be locked up? Just get here a short and sweet answer. Why they can't be locked up?
Because there's something called due process. You have to investigate, you have to charge. Somebody has to superintend over that, and as a consequence, evidence has to be presented in the court, as you know, and of course you have to get lawyers, etc. So it will not be an immediate, as we would like. It will not be immediate.
All right, let me ask this question. We have the investigation in the Achille Chambers. A matter has already. What about the inquiry into the completed inquiry into the divers? We have evidence. Why?
Yeah, but again, process. There's due process. That is what is the humbug. All of us would. You may see a crime there, you know the guy, but you know you have to wait until the case call, and that would take a little time, and you have to get a lawyer in order to, of course, present the case. You have to get a magistrate to be allocated the particular case, etc., etc. You know, so I don't know why it is that it's such a mystery, and that is safeguards, you know, because it protects the innocent, really. Because, of course, there is a saying in the criminal law in particular that it's better if 90 persons who may be guilty, let me repeat, if 90 persons who may be guilty, and if you have inside of that 91 innocent person, then of course the law caters for that innocent person. So that is why, of course, you know, those persons could get away, even though they may not be guilty or guilty, as the case may be. That's how it is.
All right, I would like that investigation. Something must be done quickly, man. Too much of wickedness PNM do to people in this country. Too much.
Because they know the guilty knows the system, and the innocent or those who are to prosecute know the system as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What takes so long though? I'm going to say that now because I'm going to say, look, I cut the man off. But we're in Santa Cruz and this one call and Woodbrook call and Tunapuna call. I'll even him them for 5 minutes and 10 minutes. But look how Andy cut off the man quick. The man only get 3 minutes. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Because 90 guilty persons could get off, but if, of course, you sent to prison one innocent person, you would not have done justice. So that is how the system is.
So true, my brother. Come on, Walia. Again, on the argument of what we was talking about, we want you all to listen to this. Again, thanks so much, Lennox Smith. While everybody want Wayne Sturge, and he said he didn't want the job, and they're making a hullabaloo on the whole situation. At the end of the day, Wayne Sturge constituents love him. Wayne Sturge have done a lot more than Monroe did in the 10 years that Monroe was there. But in that little time of just campaigning, and besides campaigning, in just that little 2 weeks in government, I've done more for his constituents than Monroe did in over 5-10 years. It is what it is. But PNM people like to be hypocrite. Because look at the man that they support to mash up the country before he get the work. Listen, when I see get the work, listen to what Rowley, that Robia man, that bully, that man that mash up the country and run, least the young to take all he licks. Listen to he too now. Listen to he. Wayne Sturge in no way will be that of Rowley. As a matter of fact, Wayne Sturge do a lot more for people than Rowley itself. In just that campaigning time and that 2 weeks in government.
I'm here in this PNM crowd, and I think I better confess something to you. Those who know me very well will know what I'm saying to you now. I didn't really want this job. I didn't want this job.
I want to tell you something. I from Miss Wall in Tobago. Miss Wall very close to Licoto. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it.
Bang, 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 bang.
You know what I think better than that? Here it is, you have the man who didn't want the ministerial position. So if a man say that he didn't want to be a minister, but preferred to service his constituents. And the Prime Minister or the party under which he became the parliamentary representative, the leader of that party said, listen, I want you because of your expertise to be the Minister of Homeland Security or otherwise, the Minister of Defense. Then it will be uncommon for that person to refuse. But on the other hand, you have, of course, a man who said he didn't want to be Prime Minister per se, and ended up not only being a total and absolute hypocrite, because, of course, he wanted it so badly that he went licoto. He went licoto. So I don't know what those who are attempting to make a storm in a teacup would want to say about Rowley's position. And it's not only that. He lied about, of course.
Hold on, Colin.
He lied about property tax, say that he will never venture there because he loved his constituents so much that not only one of them could afford an additional $100. That was back in 2009, thereabout. And then, of course, he told us in the campaign of 2015 that, listen, I'm not going to interfere with, of course, subsidies that would in fact cause fuel prices and energy prices to rise and everything else under the sun in Trinidad and Tobago. So rest us, please. At that level of hypocrisy, we dismiss and we send that and damn it to hell. In other words, Satan, get the hands, because evil could never prevail over good, and the good is here.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning to the ground report. Mickie, Lennox, Andy, and all the listeners in Trinidad and Tobago. My comment is this morning, do not be concerned about the P&M callers that is calling and making all kind of noise. Normally your baby are dead at 6 feet. P&M is going to be buried for 18 feet, so it's going to take them a long time. So just let them go ahead and talk. They're going to stop talking soon.
Thank you for calling. What part of outside you're calling us from?
I'm calling from the state of Pennsylvania in America.
All right, Pennsylvania, and don't forget all the Trinis, our locals you meet out there, make sure give them the link for the Ground Report, the #1 program, in order to keep in touch with what's going on in our country.
You know me, and I share all the time, every morning.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Oh boy, thank you so much, right. Pennsylvania. Go ahead, caller. Good morning to you. Where are you calling from? Welcome to the Ground Report. And where are you calling from?
San Fernando West.
Go ahead, San Fernando West.
A gentleman just called just now and asked a question. Why it is these cases like the Akil Chambers and the other cases with Alwari and all of them taking so long to come to the courts and have a judgment on it. But I want to, and Lennox answer them, right? But I want to say something here. A lot of other things has taken long to happen, you know, because I find that the system is not on call with what is really going on with the people, right? Because what I'm saying is this: even like, okay, there is. Let us say if you have a leak, a road line bursts, right? Sometimes that line that bursts in your road and it's spraying water out in the road, it lasts for months and nobody seems to care about water being wasted, and a lot of other things in Trinidad goes on. Because what I also want to say too is that if I do something, right, the law enforcement comes down on me very quickly as a small person. You understand what I'm saying? But the bigger man, like, they don't do anything about it at all. So the white-collar crime will always continue in Trinidad and Tobago. But the system itself, it's all wrong in Trinidad. You understand what I'm saying to you, Andy, this morning? So I would like to see where once a problem is happening, it is being addressed quickly, and not only quickly, but if you can address it quickly with the small man, then address it quickly also with the bigger fish or the bigger people. That is the problem here in Trinidad. That I mean, I may be wrong, but as far as I see it, you know, the system is all screwed up. This is my contribution here this morning. Thank you, Andy.
And you're right, caller, because I deliberately evaded, of course, political interference and political will. Simply because I thought the caller would have focused his attention as to what is existing now. But certainly, in the case of the fake oil matter, for example, of course, Robinson Regis's money transfer issue, the whole question of the Nelson Gate, and of course Brent Thomas and so on, is political interference that would have created the bottleneck, if you want to call that, or the inhibiting the process from in itself is slow, but will inhibit the process from taking place at all because of that political interference. Yeah.
No different to the merit list. Political interference. It is what it is.
Yeah, no different to the merit list. That's right.
Next caller. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the #1 program, The Ground Report? Let's hear what's supposed to make news that not making news. Go ahead, caller. Where are you calling from?
Good morning to Andy and Lennox and Mickie, the Magnificent Tree. I'm calling from San Grande. Andy, I told you to come up and check the new highway, boy. And up to now, you come and check it there because I hear you saying anything about it. The highway flooding out. Like Wasa, I want to put on a borehole, mostly to get come to water.
Well, we don't have to come because it is all over social media. It's all over traditional media. Yeah.
The new one. No, I see that.
You see that?
Yeah, we saw it, yeah. Backing up.
It have no retaining wall by it. It is drains the put, and the show was supposed to at least give that a little small, at least a 3-inch casing, go to the drain, but they leave it with dirt.
Yes.
So that problem. There was still cast.
Those slopes. Camera will have to fix that.
I'm more money again.
The contractor, of course, I don't know if he's trying to appease us, but he said that the job has not yet been completed. I trust that the present administration hold him or her to that position so that they could complete the job and do all the
who's the present contractor for that?
The latest situation with the rains.
Who's the contractor for that, Lennox Smith? Who's the contractor for that, Lennox Smith?
That would have started with Calco. That was the there was a court matter dealing with that where they were interfering with some of the what I consider the swamp area that was environmentally sensitive and all of that. So Calco, as far as I know, I don't know if there was some in between or since that another contractor would have come. I don't know, but we can verify it.
Yeah. The next thing I just want to say quickly, Andy, I want to call on the Prime Minister to keep forward to scrap the merits point. Because some people talking about keep that is a draconian thing and it doesn't save anybody's life to say where you have to arrive alive. Because all these laws and bylaws that they have there doesn't save anybody's life, not even seatbelt. What them laws is to make money off the ones who make a little mistake and doesn't help you at all with your driving ability on the road to save your lives, right? We need to come out now and talk about how you should drive to save people's lives and not about paying money whenever you make a mistake. Even when you make a mistake with God, He does forgive you. When you make a mistake with a man, it's 5,000, it's 7,000, 10,000. Things don't have to work out so we have to come together and find a way that we could talk about how people could drive safer on the road to reach one point to the other point and to enjoy this peace of life. No Kamala in power. Scrap that demerit points. That ain't good at all. And let me get something we could help people to save their life on the road than what they say. Good day to you, sir.
Thank you so much.
But she didn't say as much. Of course, one would expect that it will be where it is redundant, where it is ridiculous. Certainly, of course, that would be applicable, because I mean, if I park by a hydrant or you park on the wrong side of the street, I can't see how you have to pay a penalty. So you have already been penalized, and then of course you have the merit points added to that. I think it is double jeopardy. And it is, of course, draconian, as the caller rightly said.
Thank you so much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Nice. All of it, so much of voice notes. Let me see. When I seen 3 voice notes, well, I'll just be playing one.
Hey, Andy, you know, although this thing about the acting famous thing, hear this now. You see the 2 police officers that are going to investigate that, it's them turn the whole damn thing around. And I think these 2 police officers who investigate that situation, they turned that whole thing. I don't want to call him, but these 2 police officers who lied when they went the first time, they didn't find the body. And then they got called to go back, and the body was in the pool. You understand?
Go ahead, caller. Good
morning. Hey, good morning, with your report. You can't pay twice. You cannot pay twice for one crime: a broken light, a tail light, and the charge you on, and they take the merit points away from you, from your license. You understand? If you charge me, you charge me. You can't just a broken light, because a bulb is blue anytime. A bulb is blue anytime. You don't change that bulb and drive down the road and the bulb could blow. You understand? So the merit points, you can't pay twice over one crime. Let me do a better thing than that. Let me pay or we get the merit points. Which one? You understand? So let me big thing. And don't worry about all them PLM people who blah blah and them out. According to the old Prime Minister, yeah. Because when he was in power with them, they couldn't hear. So thank God that UNC win, because UNC win, them win. Now they can afford to block, they can afford to open them out.
Thank you so much. Good morning. That come like it's double whammy. I believe that is constitutional wrong. Because you pay the ticket, and then when you pay the ticket, you're still taking away points. So you paying double whammy, that ain't making no sense. Right, we get a message here. Good morning, the Ground Report family. Valencia here. Yesterday I spoke to someone from Social Welfare Department. I heard that there are some pensioners who are waiting up to 4 and 5 years now and cannot get their old age pension as yet. What is going on in these offices? Any one of these people, it should be, every one of these people must be fired immediately. What is going on? We need our money. We depend on this to survive. But what the hell is this? This is total madness. This government needs to take swift action against these people in these offices. Who do they expect us as senior citizens? How, in fact, that's what you mean there. How they expect us as senior citizens to survive so long without our old age pension? These matters needs some urgent attention. Please, Andy, Please, the ground report. Valencia in the house. Advice, please. Thank you. We need advice. Lennox Smith, what would you say to that Valencia call and senior citizen? Because many people are feeling that brunch. Seniors in their hundreds, and they need their money to survive. Go ahead, my brother.
And that is a common call and cause. I've had quite a number of that kind of concern, but the only way to remedy that, we have, of course, to focus on these offices, the officers involved, get their names, and of course we can, of course, make a plea to them. I think they would prefer to act expeditiously rather than, of course, we calling their names and or the office on a regular basis to indicate their tardiness and the hardship that, of course, they are causing people, whether they are sensitive to it or not. I have always said that there are too many people in the Ministry of Social Development, for example, who see, of course, their work as an accountant. They just see numbers and not really people. And of course, this administration has demonstrated its people-centeredness. Of course, it's concerned for timely and real-time interventions. And therefore, we must speed up. Just as how they couldn't get water before on the top level in the apartments around East Port of Spain. Now they are getting, simply because our government has changed. I would expect that with these kinds of complaints and these kinds of exposure, that the authorities, other than that, of course, will do something, get it to the minister, and the minister will have to get involved. I have seen a number of situations where I wrote it to the minister.
Who's the minister of social?
When the officer will say, why you write to the officer? And of course, but at the end of the day, mission accomplished. The person who was seeking the service end up getting the service. So why couldn't you do it all the time? And that's the point I am making here. So we have to find ways and means of getting these civil servants to work.
Oh my gosh. And then a very good one that we have to add to this, because we're not only going to deal with the ones in the office, because this is a message from Sharon Jogi. She's also saying, and when those officers visit the senior homes, they see big house and they reject them because they see big house, air condition, two kind house, and then understand that could be their children own. And it maybe don't have nothing to do with them. Hey, let me say a pleasant good morning to them.
There was the unfortunate situation where a young lady was on welfare. One of the welfare officers saw her selling water. You remember that incident on Charlotte Street? And they promptly, of course, took the woman off the system. Well, of course, my common sense would tell me selling water, what kind of return that could make to, but what you're doing really is complementing that which you are getting, because that which you are getting really and truly from the social welfare people cannot cover all your needs for one individual, far less for a whole family. So that's why I talk about the people in the system who are supposed to administer it, because they are really, of course, officers of administrative justice, and therefore that level of insensitivity and that level of not empathizing, I think these people need to be more trained, and they must be much more, of course, concerning themselves with the realities of the present times and the little kakada that they are giving, believing that somehow people can live off of that in perpetuity. That's a piece of madness logic.
Nice. Before I introduce our co-host, our boy, the Mickie K himself, I must say congratulations to that interview that you and the Scrap Iron Dealers Association. I mean, we are already seeing the minister who are in charge of that, giving that type of hope in order for these hundreds of people and scrapyards to start back up. Congratulations on that. And again, Mickie, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my brother, loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear to you. Yeah, my brother Andy Williams.
Andy, Mickie, unlike yesterday.
Yeah, I understand. Good morning to you, political leader of love, Lennox Smith, our technical director, and everyone locked on. Good morning, our Gael family, to our regional family, our Caricom brothers and sisters, the diaspora, wherever you are, and on the Sister Isle Tobago. Good morning. Yes, Andy, it really was quite interesting when you have a minister who is asking the questions, and not treating the industry as though the people that benefit from it and rely on it are invisible. This is a man with a serious business background who understands what it takes to build something from nothing. And he was putting out some questions there, gentlemen. He said, but listen, why? I'm looking at a decrease here in this business when it was doing so much. And it wasn't a matter of you having to go and look for foreign exchange and purchase anything. These are assets sitting here, just basically rusting away, and you found a way to take that and monetize it. He said, then why is there so much a bottleneck? Why is there so much bureaucracy? Why is there so much red tape? When in fact that when you look at the logistics of it, you just simply have to put things in place to assist this, and this will go off on its own, feeding people. He was quite surprised, as a matter of fact, that you have an industry which is rare in Trinidad and Tobago, begging, literally pleading for some oversight, to have some regulatory board put in place to look at making sure the policies are there and not just putting it in black and white, but making sure that it is enforced. That is very rare in this country, saying, listen, come in. The doors are wide open, and start to regularize this thing and put things in place so that we can be law-abiding citizens who are partaking in this industry to benefit so many people. So I have to say hats off to the Trade Minister and Minister, of course, and the Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. Dr. Neil Gosain, for doing such, good work yesterday by listening and he ready to put in place and to implement those low-hanging fruits that can be there to benefit the industry. So I must say, what a great choice that Kamla Prasad Bisesa has done by choosing Minister Maraj. Good job.
Nice. The lines are open. What's on your front burner, Trinidad and Tobago? What's supposed to make news? Not making news, but go ahead,
Here's what's interesting, gentlemen. The Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, the Honorable Khadija Amin, has been touring corporations and what have you. And she went to Diego Martin and Port of Spain and other areas. And she said that the discussions focus on working conditions, staffing shortages, and the need for urgent upgrades to facilities used by municipal officers. Minister Amin emphasized that while requests for new infrastructure, such as police stations and city halls, are valid, municipal corporations must also play an active role in identifying, planning, and funding these projects. She stressed that collaboration is key to ensuring sustainable development and improve public service delivery. So it begs the question once again, what was Faris Alwari doing in that position as the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government? What was he doing? So many things. I mean, you have a minister now who is going out there and ensuring that when it comes to the whole flooding issue, that we don't hear the excuses that the tractor or whatever can't move because there's no diesel, the corporation has no money to buy fuel, or the fact that instead of you getting 10 sandbags, you could only get one and see how best you could make up one on your own, deliberately being under-resourced. And it was happening basically, yes, it seemed as though across the board, but there was some geographical discrimination as well. So you ask yourself, what really was taking place in some of these ministries? And why you keep hearing about short staff? They don't have enough people. I mean, come on. That affects delivery. So hats off. But it makes you wonder what these people are really doing all along. What were they doing?
So true, so true. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from? What's your contribution? And welcome to the #1 program, The Ground Report. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning. I just wanted to find out who is the minister in charge for CPEP. Thanks. I listen off there. Thanks.
All right, and where are you calling from?
Princess Town.
All right, Princess Town. Lennox Smith, will you be able to tell us who is in charge of CPEP? Oh boy, what ministries CPEP is under? Unmute the phone. Unmute.
Put your mic on. Put your mic on there, Lennox.
Sorry. It's juggling two ministries, but the substantive one, I understand it to be, of course, the Ministry of Public Utilities. So that's under Padera.
Mr. Barry Padera. There.
Okay, Mr. Barry Padera.
And if I'm not mistaken, well, I can say clearly, because I did interview her on Sunday, that the URP, the Unemployment Relief Program, is under the line minister, which is Khadija Amin.
Oh boy. Very good, very good. Hard working woman, man. Hard working woman. Oh boy, let's play some voice notes. As the call's not coming in, let's play some voice notes here. Yes, it have a lot.
The man, the person who called in yesterday with the voice report about the pension. What about the NIS? People waiting long to get the NIS. You understand? I don't know, they cannot get it. Very same thing. The government has to look into that NIS thing too and get rid of these people and put people who could work. You understand? Better put the NIS people to the NIS people to.
All right, we get the point. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Yeah, morning, Andy. Andy, it's Marvel. And I was talking about I'm trying to figure out, boy, who regulate the industry, the insurance industry in Trinidad and Tobago? Because it seems we have an insurance mafia in Trinidad and Tobago.
So truth, caller. So truth. So your point is, you would like to know, Lennox Smith, hold on. Who ministry does the regulations of insurance, or what that comes under? Ombudsman or anything? Lennox Smith. Because we had to go after them insurance too, the banks, them insurance companies, all them mafias, them that just advantaging we, boy. Thinking we had to monopolize some of these things in order for me to get arrest.
You are quite right. And there is, of course, the equivalent of an ombudsman, an insurance ombudsman, as well as, of course, a banking ombudsman. But yet still, we have these unscrupulous people exploiting, of course, and because people are tied by law. They are entrapped. They exploit, but do not, of course, if the risk for which you are insured materializes, because, insurance is about pooling of resources, and if the risks occur, the one person, of course, who would have been subjected to that would get the benefit. So they are assuming that nobody will get that risk or will be subjected to the risk that they insure, so that they never have to pay out any money. But when they have to pay out money, it's a serious problem. So I agree with the caller that there is a need to look at that. There's a need to look at national insurance as well. There's a need to look at the social welfare, and especially, of course, people who would have lived all their lives committed to Trinidad and Tobago. It is assumed in the early days, and now to get a little pension, they have to move the stone and gravel and sand and all kind of thing in order, of course, to get that assistance.
All right. So here it is to all your various ombudsmen, or ombudswoman, however you go about ombudsmen, for those various wicked industries that you all supposed to be the eyes for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We sending the ground reporter sending a message to you. We coming to buy new glasses for you all. The glasses in which all of the ombudsman and them wearing is really a brown bag with blue paper covering as the lens. Again, the trouble the people of Trinidad and Tobago is getting when it comes to all those ombudsman and them that's supposed to be the eyes and the regulators to have our back. All them seeing through their glasses and the lens that they have on, that we're going to get them good lens to see again. The lens that them have on is a brown bag with a lot of blue paper in it. So long as they have only lens of a brown bag and a lot of blue paper, they ain't seen small people like we. Because these industries, just make sure they have them as soon as buy the lens for them. That's how easy it is. That's why they can't get justice. Down to the banking ombudsman. Remember that bank, that big money. that is allow these big industries to buy the glasses for them or the lens for them, which is a brown bag with blue paper in it. Let me continue. Let me take the calls. I surely understand what time it is. Morning corner. We gotta get them good links.
Morning, Andy, Lennox Smith, and Mikey K boy. Mikey, I would like you to talk to the Prime Minister and then to tell. You see the merit point have to come out. Plenty people talk to me. Maximilian and thing talk to me that they vote the UNC because of the merit point, because they pack up for 3 years. They couldn't work Maxi because they get the merit point and all the points come out. And that have to come out. Kamala have to scrap that out, just like property tax have to go. It have to go. And the next thing, Andy boy, Mikey K. What Ian Allen said last night, I was saying that a few years back, and I really didn't call no talk show to tell them about this, about the beatum when you shut down. Why the police do use ordinary vehicle to stop the like Ian Allen take that from my mouth and say, I glad he said that. The police have to do that. Stop there with ordinary vehicle, 1, 2 vehicle ordinary, but police ordinary with the ordinary uniform. And you could hold them in, because when you open your bonnet, them men running out with gun and thing and coming to love you. They could do that. They could stop that. This government have to do that. We have to stop that. And we have to get rid of that. And our next problem, stand your grounds law. We support stand the lungs law. Right? I hear you and say, don't take the law in your own hand. But if you ever fight somewhere outside or some party or something, you could call the police and don't take the law in your own hand. I do that. But you see, stand the ground law, if a man walk in my yard to provoke me like the last time a man walked into my yard and I tell you where you doing that, come on, I didn't invite him. People up there with Peter Blair and want to chop me. Want to chop me in my own yard and I'll tell him, come up from here. And he walk in here. So I'm glad that Sandy Gonglo is coming and we going to have to empty the clip when they break the law and come and leave property. Yeah? And Mikey K, I want you to put that on the talk to the ministers. I have to get Alexander, Philip Alexander on mine. I want to talk to he too. Right? Mikey K, Lennox Smith will have a good day. Well, thank God we take over. Thank God we are here power. And I want Mikey K, let me not put it with seats again. Let me put it with vote. PNM never win with votes. They only put seats. We could change our law. Them have the power. We have the power now. We could do that now. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Lennox Smith. And Mr. Ali from Sunny Gabi, who is calling. And the motorcade you are nice with your boy. The motorcade you are nice with you with Toko Road, boy. On the Toko Road. We enjoy ourselves. Thank God we take over. Thank God for UNC. Thank God that we're going to do the work. People have to hold our lives straight, and we're going to do the work. They're going to see benefit. Pensioners going to see benefit. Disabled pension, everybody's going to see benefit. Thank God, search. When search, give the 1 foot man why he talk with and I tell them, hold some shit. Look, he get a foot. The 1 foot man is standing up, he get a foot. Search, give him a foot. When search, and thank God for that. And the other have a mic there, I'll listen to you. Lennox Smith, I'm listening to you. Mikey K, I'm listening to you. Always great, always powerful. Thank you, in Jesus' name.
Go ahead, caller. Good morning to you. Where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Grandy, and a very good morning to Mr. Lennox, Mr. Andy, Mr. Mikey K on the ground report.
Good morning.
It's a joy for me to talk to you all this morning pertaining with, a statement I want to make. I want to tell you all that the PNM government, they are still entwined in Lucifer because Rowley, worker woman in Tobago, fix all of them. And up to today, none of them has released themselves from this. So from the time they were in Parliament working for Trinidad and Tobago, they've been just taken. Because Lucifer do not ever give nothing. All of them been taken, and the more they get is the more they wanted. And they created situations all around so that they could receive. And that is what has been going on in the PNM party. But now we have a God-given party, the UNC. The members there have love in them. They have God in them. They are sensitive. So I will tell people, do not be afraid of this present government we have now, because God is guiding them. They will feel for the small man, they will feel your hurt, and they will go there to do things, to clear things for us in Trinidad and Tobago now. So rest assured, the PNM was Lucifer, is Lucifer because it's still in opposition. They have no feelings for the poor man. Their heart is pure Lucifer, and they've been sucking the country dry. We see that because they can't know about giving. They don't know nothing about giving. They only know about pulling, taking. And today is a happy time for us of Trinidad and Tobago because we have a government that God is guiding. As our Prime Minister said, God is in front and she's following behind. So it's joy today for us. This is my report. This is my contribution, and you all have a God-filled day. God in control.
Thank you so much. Some people are also saying,
thank you.
The ground report, it have people that living in America collecting NIS pension and never work a day in Trinidad. Oh boy, oh boy. That's what some people are saying.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. And somebody asks, Andy, we break it down. What do you mean by ombudsman and them in the various industries are supposed to be protecting us, such as insurance or the banking ombudsman or the all right, what I mean, that's just my opinion. I believe that these big companies somehow are giving gifts to these ombuds people to ignore seeing about us and representing us. Those gifts, I believe, they gain money. I believe they're taking bribe. Again, I don't have no evidence of that. I am not saying die so it go, but something ought to be wrong that the banking ombudsman or the insurance ombudsman or all these various ombuds people that's supposed to be standing up on the defending we the poor people, seeing what's going on, their own family members going through the same thing, and yet still this madness going on. I hope I say the right way. Lennox Smith.
I concur, Andy, because that's the logical conclusion one has to draw. That these regulatory officers, those who are supposed to see that justice take place, that the playing field is equitable or level, and that the service, most importantly, is delivered to the people, appear to be falling down. The Securities Exchange Commission, which acts as a kind of ombudsman as well, dealing, of course, with fair play in business. We have seen monopolies being of course pursued. We are seeing
like for instance the pharmaceutical industry.
You see businesses amalgamating and becoming giant, of course, procurers and deliverers of drugs, for example. I talk about for medical purposes. Yeah. That recently happened, and that came under the what I consider be the supposed to be watchful eyes of the Security Exchange Commission, that sees, of course, one company buying up other companies in order to eventually get a monopoly, and that is not good for any economy. Competition must be a very important component to reduce price and give value for money, and people, of course, making certain that they can live the best in their society or in their community. And when that is not happening, and these institutions are dysfunctional, then of course you have the elements of a failed state being unfolded right before our very eyes, and that cannot allow to happen.
Wow. So when you're dealing to the monopoly like the pharmaceutical industry and all those big companies that buy out companies in order to have a monopoly, you say who is the people that's supposed to be in charge to make sure things like that ain't gone?
The Securities Exchange Commission in this particular case.
Well, that means in my book.
And there's a Fair Trade Commission.
Well, Fair Trade Commission too.
I praise, but same as
you're right. You're right.
Go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead, because you used to be talking about this. Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
No, Mikey, you go ahead. You used to be talking about this. About the fair trade.
And that's why we have one pharmaceutical company that is, importing all the pharmaceuticals, and that's a fact. And these companies have bought out other companies and have monopolized everything, and people stood by. That same Fair Trade Commission just sat by and did absolutely nothing. And that's right. That's right.
But it's also alleging out there that those same big pharmaceutical companies with its drugs, that they are also buying out the pharmacies and them by. That the top line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And in the case of the banking ombudsman, for example, banks are you get a check from to be drawn on a particular bank. The bank is telling you only if you have an account there, you could draw it, and it's supposed to be what is normally called a banker's check. A banker's check means that it is guaranteed by the bank.
Yes, certified guaranteed.
And you pay for it. I had the unfortunate situation. A man said, I had $30,000 for me, but he was in real cloud. So he take a Scotia Bank, and I call it the bank name, Scotia Bank, banker's check, and send it to me so that I could draw it on any Scotia Bank in the country, at least a Scotia Bank. Goes there, asking me if I have a bank account, and they cannot, of course, honor that check because I don't have an account. So I asked them the question, well, only committed fraud then, because the man paid an extra fee in order to get a banker's check outside of his normal check, in other words. And you tell me this banker's check is invalid within the system of the bank that it was drawn in, and for which I have the obligation to, of course, present it and just get my money. So I called the ombudsman. Incidentally, for people, he's located, of course, in the central bank towers there. So I called him, and then he said that he has very little, but of course he will try. So I think as soon as I threatened that I'm calling the ombudsman, then they call me the next day and tell me, come and give me the name of the person to go to in order to get my check cleared. In other words, I'm saying why I was prepared to do that. The ordinary person who, of course, is unsuspecting and will not take the measures that I have, they will be vulnerable, and it embarrasses, of course, the businessman himself as well. All true. We have that kind of situation. If Republic Bank, a man give me a check again, the John Republic Bank, they asked me if I have a bank account there. I said no. But of course, the man is banking with that particular branch. So I went to the branch that he's banking in, and they will not honor what that says. It says that you embarrass the businessman who gave me the check, because he gave me it in good faith, thinking, of course, his branch will honor it. You go to the branch, and the branch is telling you that you must have an account with that particular bank in order for them to change it. This is madness in this country.
You
understand why the ease of doing business
Lennox
is a
Smith.
problem in this country, and why we are not getting, of course, foreign direct and indirect investment, and even local investment.
That's right.
Understand what
But Lennox,
they have abdicated their role as bankers to facilitate people in the movement of money and the securing of their monies in their bank. It doesn't matter. You cannot, for example, because you get a couple fraudsters that maybe put you out a couple 100 million or a million or 100,000. You cannot sacrifice the rest of us because you want to secure your money. No.
And next thing that is do.
Implement new measures, that's all.
That's right.
But
That's all you do.
But it shouldn't be at the cost. It shouldn't be at the cost of your consumers. Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, and next thing that is do. They're telling you.
So we are, in other words, we are making an appeal to the government to look into these banking irregularities and these, of course, draconian and what I consider punitive measures, because somebody may have committed a fraud on them.
But Lennox,
they want to
the next thing that is do.
sacrifice everybody else. And stymied business in Trinidad and Tobago. It cannot work and must not work. And
But Lennox, you rough him up like the bank.
Go ahead, Andy.
No,
Go ahead, Andy.
but watch how Lennox Smith rough him up like the bank. He moving like the bank. That have him vexed. So he vexed. He right to be vexed with the bank. Me I doing nothing. I don't have the power to change your check. If I had it, I'd do the right thing. But here it is do too. They tell you the checking cross, the checking cross. But they're telling you, go to your branch, you have to bank the check. It will take 4 days for you to get your money. That way it reach to. My God.
Madness.
No, but honestly and truly, I mean, we have to make sense of this. I spoke on Sunday on The Observer with consumer rights advocate Trevor Hostin. And one of the things, well, he had 6 things. And one of the things is, I think Lennox was talking about it, and the person who brought up the insurance company. There should be a time limit for claim settlement. Insurance companies should, under law, have a stimulated time in which to settle all claims, be it auto, home, etc. And I agree with that. He gave an experience when he was in Atlanta, got in an accident on the spot. The agent came from State Farm, did the paperwork on the spot, checked it out, looked at the information on the computer, and paid him. They paid on the spot, the very said day. That's what went on. Here, listen, if you miss a premium, they're coming at you. If you miss a payment in the bank, they're coming at you. But the minute they had to give you something, the minute that they're at fault, the minute they drop the ball, they find it hard to give you that money. Somebody could get into your account, whatever they do, and play with your money. The bank trace it, realizes not you. Yeah, I wasn't in Puerto Rico buying tires, you dunce. And then upon all of that, take forever to give you back that money. When in fact that they didn't put the proper measures in place. Remember, our banks recorded some ridiculous profits in the heights of a pandemic. Could you imagine that madness?
Did not see it fit to really attack to them. In Barbados, the Prime Minister, they ready to attack to them, they confirm. But with respect, of course, to the insurance, remember, you are obligated by law to make sure that their coffers are full, you know. Because when you cannot drive a car on the road without insurance, you know. So that's by law. So therefore, every insurance company in this country would be awash with money because you are obligated by law. You are tied in. You are entrapped. You cannot operate without it. The police will come down on you and so on if they catch you, etc. And yet still, when coming out now to an accident and you are right and the insurance company, your insurance company is now obligated. It's like pulling tooth from a baby to get of course.
Everything is always about them. Everything is always about them and benefiting them. They want to make sure they cut expenditures by building banks or renting the space. They want you online. They want everybody to be online because it costs them less. All of a sudden, you're going to the bank, and it seems like the security guard is the one there who has to deal with customer service. I don't want to talk to the security guard. I didn't go to the counter and give him my money. What transaction? He asking you, wait till you come to do today. What I come to do today is none of your damn business. You guard the door. What you asking me? I want to talk to somebody who work here. All of a sudden, the security guard is the one who seems to be processed. They go in the back. You want to go, what the hell are you going in the back for? I didn't come to you. And all of this madness, they have a new system now. Some banks you go in, you pick a number. Listen, man, regardless of what, listen, you're spending the same amount of time. And let me call name Scotia. If you go in Scotia and it only have one person in front of you, for some reason you're still spending an hour in there. I don't understand that. No, it's pick a number.
That was
supposed to improve service.
The line up. Because go and take a seat, etc., etc. But it's the same length of time you're spending under normal circumstance. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Because everything is coded now, right? You get this number based on the transaction that you put in the machine. You will get this number based on so and so. And you have some people that call him. I hear since 10 o'clock is now going on to after 1. Well, something got to be wrong. And you're making noise. You have to tell them. They give you a number, just put you to sit down like if it's bingo, and you're supposed to take that. What's going on with these banks? This is madness, and we need to deal with it. It is unfair.
The next thing, as we're talking about that, MoneyGram and Western Union them outside people and them, nobody don't ask them. All them have to give is your name, the person name, or phone number, or however. They send the thing. They send something for you. When you go by these places, are you related to any politician? I say, what?
Yeah, I thought that was somewhere.
What is that person relationship with you? Family?
Yeah.
What the money is for? Mind your goddamn business. We're asking them a business for.
Right. That's right. But if you tell them, if you really tell them, Mr. Kerr, what is the money about? Well, listen, we were looking to have a P. Diddy freak off, and they send me the money in advance so I could set up the road. Right? That's to buy baby oil. You're so damn fast. We having a P. Diddy freak off, and it's my job to set up the room. So they send me the money in advance. I had to go and buy Astroglide. I had to buy baby oil. What else you want to damn know? All that is simple. The people sent you a reference number. Not Tom, Dick, or Harry could just walk you with that reference number just so. That's why you set up the reference number to begin with. So by the time they tell you, well, M-O-X, you know what, and your name? All right, cool. I give the people the money. What you want
money is there. The money is there. You receive the people money.
That's right.
To be delivered to somebody else, but yet still you want all that kind of information. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah. And the last government had the unique position of facilitating the bank by, of course, that bogus exchanging $100 bills, whether it's cotton for the polymer. When, of course, people had to walk with basket and bags of money to leave at the bank to exchange for the polymer, and then the bank tell you, listen, we run out of money, it's 200,000 you bring, but you can only get 100,000. So Rowley and they facilitated, of course, the banks. I watched it with back, and afterwards you could know is a setup, because after that they went and borrow the excess liquidity that the bank now have for whatever corrupt acts that they would have been. I mean, come on. These elaborate schemes.
One more thing again with the banks.
At the expense of the economy, at the expansion of the economy, and getting close to full employment, because that is what it's all about. And of course, making sure our GDP and the health of our economy. These people had the distinction of getting some $12 billion in reserve, and by the time they come out in 9 years' time, they blow away more than half of that. And then
the next thing, Lennox Smith.
Plays nicely. I mean, come on.
The next thing, Lennox Smith, with them bank, you have your US account. You get your hard US. You ain't buy no US something to in your account. You save up, whether it be at 10,000 US, or whether it be at 1,000 US, or whether it be 1,500 US, or 2,000 US. When you go to the bank, that your US. You get them your hard-earned US. Them telling you that your US, you only could get 100 US or 50 US, and sometimes you can't get none. Sometimes you don't tell them in advance for you to get your US money where you bank in the bank. But that robbery, how nobody sign up for that? If we pay bank we money and we want to withdraw, we 1,000 US we bank or we 10,000 US we bank, give me goddamn money. Yes, we own. Why are you telling me we can't get money and you telling me how much money we get? That robbery without a gun? I can't understand that. Man,
and they believe that they can do that without compunction and without a sense of understanding that people put in their money and expect it to be safe. But more importantly, when they make a demand, they expect to get it. You're telling us now that you can't get all or you can't get part. Or you could only get a certain sum. That is ridiculous. And we are telegraphing to the present administration, whether it be the Minister of Finance and who may be responsible for these matters, to look into these matters, because the bottom line, it is emasculating or stymieing progress in terms of economic advancement. People who want to invest, whether directly or indirectly from abroad, will not come in such an environment to invest. We have seen that happen under the PNM. So I don't expect it to be extended to the present administration by choice. I expect that they will take appropriate action.
Nice. All the lines are open to you.
Yeah, the lines are open. Who's on the outside?
We had
Good morning. Good morning.
I only can comment you all front burner too, but that was a
Give
very
them the
important.
numbers, man. Give them the numbers. Yes, I am still
Two,
people are affected by this thing.
225-6644. The numbers are called 225-6644 or 239-5120. 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call at 366-3053. 366-3053. Welcome to the Ground Report. Go ahead, caller. Where calling from, caller?
Andy, Andy, that is a very good topic. But you didn't finish off now. Andy, I have a US account unit trust. And what really happened? When you have your money in unit trust account, even though they give you a check, say you give you a check for $10,000, that check don't be good, you know, that check's bunks, you know. So if you take that check that they give you and you fly out with that check and bring it into the US, you have no money to get, you know, because they're not affiliated with no banks, you know. So what you have to do to get your money, you have to know someone working in one of those banks. Go to them and let them put the check under that person's name. So they now could take it into their bank. That's the only way you could get your US money. Wow. So that's why I stopped use. That's why. So I do have you, and I still have US in my account, but I stopped it because of that same problem. So it makes no sense you having a US account right now in Trinidad.
So caller, so you go to unit trust, you have a US account, and then
I have a US account.
You want to make a withdrawal, and they're not going to give you how much you want to withdraw in cash back.
You can't get that. They will give you a check.
That's smart, man.
But the check they give you, once they give you that check, you can go to no bank in Trinidad.
In the United States or wherever.
Yes, they're not affiliated with no banks. So that check that they're giving you is a bounce check.
And with nothing, somebody will depend on that baby to buy a new jockey shorts.
No, but let me access something. But let me access some caller.
Yeah.
All right, but that went on. All right, it come like a bounce check, you ain't get change. But then what was the process?
You have to come back again.
And I
no. So then they will give you a check. When you take that check and go to another bank, you will get TT money. You won't get US money unless you know someone working in a bank with some kind of connection. That's the only way. That person now will send that check to the treasury someone, and that's the only way.
No, but that means them forcing you to change your US into TT when you don't want that. You just want your US money.
Yes, I do have a TT account. I do have a US account, but every time you go to Unitra, you feel so embarrassed to know that when you come, they only say you only could get $100 or come every other day and pick up a little $50 or $100. It makes no sense. So I stop put money in my US account and just leave it like that.
All right,
yeah, I mean,
thank you so much, caller. Next caller, morning.
Into taking those measures.
Report.
Go ahead, caller. We are hearing you. Just please, when I get you, turn down your television, turn down the gadgets, and listen to us on the phone only. Go ahead. We are hearing you on the phone. Go ahead.
Yeah. What you have to do with it when you have the US money, they give you a check to the corresponding bank. There's something they call a file number.
Hey, we're not hearing you good. You have to mute the TV. Mute the TV. We get a feedback. Right. Let us hear what you're saying there now.
When they see you with a US dollars check and they go with it, before you take it to the bank over there, the local bank, they have to give you a file number so they tell you which bank to go to. Otherwise, you won't get it. They won't change it.
Yeah, the corresponding banking system. They must be affiliated with another bank.
Imagine that. All right.
Good morning, Ground Report. And to everyone out there, what I don't understand is why are we hearing all these voices of people who need and wanted stuff and they get the stuff? They had 9 and almost 10 years to make noise. Why weren't we hearing them? They come out to stranglehold the woman for her to jump hoops for them in 2 minutes instead of to wait the 10 years to get what they want. Just like what they did, and they didn't get it either. How do you justify all this foolishness? How? They need to take their time and wait on due process. Due process is what's going to take place if they understand what due process is all about. With the wicked government that just passed that had so much time to do things and they never rally and make noise or go and protest for their rights. They want the woman now to jump hoops for them. Does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense.
Good morning, guys. Mikey, talk the thing. Preach the thing, Mikey. Insurance, banks. Mikey, we went through that and always want to cut you under, but you paying full. Talk the thing, Mikey.
Lennox, good morning. Krishna here. You're so right, boy. I working in a company right now, right? And when the fortnight come, I get pay in a check to Republic Bank. I call the name to Republic Bank. And you know when I go there, they asking me if I have a account. I said, no, I have an account all here. You know, them charging me to change my check. So you loan me something, you know, when I going back to them and give them the check. I want to tell me now. I will tell them the same thing with you. Why are you talking about it, Lennox? I say, Lennox, that's forgery. Something going wrong there. And the government, and the idea, as they say, should look into this. I find, if I get in pay in a check, and on the check mark, whatever bank, and you carry it to the bank, they're telling you can't change it unless you have a account there. You see this madness, forgery. This is going too long, for too long. I said I'm going to go street and change my check. But I'll go and get my check changed. That's what I have to do by Lennox boy. Oh God, I go to topic Lennox this morning by Lennox boy. When I go back to Lennox, and I'm going to tell me, I'll get back to you. Right? Locked on.
Andy, Mighty K, Lennox, good morning from Report, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I just want to say, my contribution is, you know, you see people go in jail, they spend so much years there, and when they come out, they be scared to come out there because society change, everything change, you understand? Some of them, they could cope with it, and some of them go back to the same life that make them end up in jail in the first place. Well, that is what the PNM and them is, Andy. They are accustomed with this hard life and catching the tail all the time. They are no better. And like they are one better either. You understand? That's the kind of mentality they have. You understand? Lucifer, like he is remind me of Jim Jones. I don't know why he didn't take the people and them with him. Thank you. Have a good day.
Good morning, Andy. I'm sending this message on for you because there's the same thing going on in the bank. It's the same thing going on in NIS. I went into NIS on the 25th of March, and they tell me how they give me quite in October to bring in back my retire form, and I find that nonsense. And they have to make online, and you can't get an early appointment online. And I find that it's tripping this. I'm a half-blind person. Mr. Mikey can't know who it is talking. And I always been with UNC from day on. And I find they're supposed to do something about this line thing with NIS, bank, and in other places, this online thing, they're supposed to stop it now. Because I find they're going too far with this. I can't take a number when I go there, because I have to press in some machine to get a number.
The previous PNM government has changed ombudsman 4 times within their 10 years. And not one of these ombudsmen
Listen, I want to hear that. And not one of these ombudsman.
the previous PNM. Good morning to the ground report. Good morning, Andy. Andy, I want to ask a question. What really is the purpose of the Ombudsman Office of Trinidad and Tobago? The people of Trinidad and Tobago don't ever hear anything about the Ombudsman Office doing anything for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Why this present government don't abandon this office and make the Ombudsman Office part of the Ministry of Justice? Only then and there you would hear what the Ombudsman Office is doing for the people. People have been making reports to the Ombudsman Office for help, and the Ombudsman Office doesn't even reply to them and tell them what's happening with the matter. The Ombudsman Office is a waste, Andy. It's a waste of public funds. It's a waste of everything. I think that office should be abandoned, and the Ministry of Justice, which is now being implemented under this new government, should be placed there. PNM government has changed ombudsman 4 times within their 10 years. And not one of these ombudsmen has ever did anything for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This ombudsman office that operates right now in the Twin Towers are a waste of time. They are doing nothing for the people. This ombudsman office should be abandoned, and the Ministry of Justice shall now take over the work of the Ombudsman Office of Trinidad and Tobago.
Hi Andy, good morning. Kumote here. Andy, when we're talking about justice and the law in the country years now, Andy, the police is a part of the justice system. The Chief Justice, the judges, magistrate, the what they call them, these ones give the bail, the JPs and them. And this Chief Justice, everything's screwed down in the justice system, and it starts from the head, you know. We had recently an attorney, which is Israel Khan. He made a one-day protest, or a one-man protest in Port of Spain about the Chief Justice. I want that not sweep under the carpet. I want to hear Israel Khan come back out and say something now that the government has changed. They say the Prime Minister have to make a move. I want to hear our Prime Minister say something on this. Why, she's an attorney too. She's from the justice system. And I would like to see something done. That we start cleaning up from the head. If Israel Khan could come out, which he's a senior attorney, right, and say they have to do something about the Chief Justice, I say clean up from the head and let us see how the justice system from the top going down, right, all them backlog of cases and 10 years and 15 years, people waiting for trial and all these things. If we say we could clean it up, the police service have to be cleaned up too, because if you open the jail door, you see police inside it too for crime that they commit while they was on duty, you know, right? And we have to do something. Somebody had to say something. And I'm saying something. Israel Khan come out and say, continue saying what you were saying. The Chief Justice have to be what? Impeach or something like that. Let us see something with the justice system now. Take care.
Andy, good morning again to you, Lennox. Mikey and to everybody. Krishna, don't get vexed, but I just make meaningful contribution. Try doing that for a change, and then you wouldn't have to be so cantankerous, all right? And to the caller, I think that's the man from Toko, asking why it is it taking so long. They have to investigate. They have to. While everybody wants swift justice, you don't want to know that you get swift justice and then it's thrown out of the courts, and then double jeopardy might be attached to it, and you can't do them anything again. Don't you want proper investigation into all the allegations and things so these people can be brought before the courts? And as Mrs. Pasabi-Sessa said, they're going after the low-hanging fruits first. That doesn't mean she's not going after the big fish, right? But it's just that patience, just have some patience, and let them do their jobs, and eventually we will see people being brought to justice. We will see that. But you see, they have so many things to do before they have to straighten out that justice system. They have to do that. Because as I said, we don't want them to come to court and then it's thrown out with not enough evidence. Andy?
Hello, Andy. Lois Santa Cruz here. We had to get back a flying squad to deal with this crime. And some of these ministers and them need to lock it up.
Morning, Ground Report crew. Mickie, Lennox, Smith, and Andy Williams. Krishna complained about the length of time they just give, like Mr. Tanapuna, Miss Santa Cruz, Miss Woodbrook. They just contribute meaningful conversations. Understand? I mean, they have to carry it on lengthy for you to understand exactly what they're saying. So if Andy give them another 5 minutes more, it is nothing. You have to listen to what they're saying. Understand? What contribution you, Mr. Yes, give? Don't complain. Listen to what they're saying. They could educate you very much, especially Mr. Tanapuna. He is having real cork. Understand? So listen to them. Don't complain about the length of time given to them. It's obvious they're making sensible contribution. Okay? Right. You are one of the Ground Report family, Krishna, and don't vex. Don't vex for Andy for giving you extra time. Let him give them the extra time. Bye-bye. Have a good day, Andy, and the family.
Good morning, Andy. Big Ram here. Great program as usual. Keep up the great work, you, Mikey, and Lennox. Now, my country has come in a better place with a new government. It gave me hope that one day I could think about returning back to my country to live.
Big Ram, next time just wind up the glass and send the voice note to my praise. We barely hear what you're saying. All right.
Andy, this message is for Krishna, you dumbbell. You get a chance to talk and make a contribution where you talk about people saying wrong. Why don't you just go and make a contribution? Number one, I love to hear them people talk. I love to hear them talk. I love to hear about poor, especially and the rest. I come all along with Krishna, you are a dumbbell and incomplete. Okay? Call and make a contribution. You dummy.
Pleasant morning again, Brother Andy. If you want me to hit Marsha Walker hard, call me back. I have it for she, because she advantage me.
All right, I want to believe that maybe was something personal you said. Remember when it's a radio, if it's my ears only, make sure they say my ears only. Mikey, when I tried to play some of these voice notes, oh boy, so much of voice notes they send. I know we started late yesterday, they missed me. All right, let me just play this one here. Oh boy, quick. Let me play some of them people voice.
Good morning, Groundport Report. Thank you for being here for the people of Trinidad and Tobago to hear our voice. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, must know that you have to be a patriotic person for the country to see the improvement of your country, not by no political party, but patriotic people, who will care and do the right thing to improve their country and the outlook of the country. These PNM people, they only want to destroy this nation. That is what they're doing, destroying the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. But the Lord thy God Almighty would not allow that. They will destroy themselves. He that diggeth a pit for this country shall fall in it. This is what I have to say and contribute to this program this morning, because we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, would not accept them back into power, not now or ever again. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.
Andy, I didn't know Mickie working with the scrap iron dealers now. He got a big work there. I see him last night with Ferguson. He talking on behalf of Ferguson, boy. Mickie get big in the dance now, and he carry Ferguson and meet him with the minister of planning, and the both of them sit down there and Ferguson get through. What? I ain't know Mickey's a broker now. He good. All right, Mickie, keep up the good work you're doing, partner. You broker in work for people now. You get.
What the man is doing is doing what we just do. Help people. We want.
Stay locked on. Yeah. There's more to come. There's more to come, brother. Stay locked on. You want me to carry you too? Call me. Like you want to go too. When the UNC wins,
everybody wins. Ready, hello.
Right. You were going on there with Lennox. What I'm proud of Lennox for is the fact that he took local contractors in the area to build this next room. That's the thing about it.
That the front room in here now?
He added every week, every month he does add on.
Look at next room.
This is the front.
Yeah,
this is the front.
That will be ready to send for work. People ready to send for work.
He's down in the back. Yeah, he's down in the back. People could come to the center and he greets you in the front and process whatever needs to be processed. But he is in the left wing. That was the front. He's in the left wing. There you go. And local workers was given the opportunity to work on this thing. Beautiful, Lennox.
We can give a work to refurbish the Prime Minister office that was left in a mess.
Look at that, nice.
Yeah, red people come in looking to
red people
for work.
Yeah, there you go. They're coming in. You notice he's staying in the nice room, man. Them had to sit down there and
to the outside there, the door open, so that means no air conditioning in that one in front there.
Oh, you see there, but where he is, it's blowing cool. But they coming to get help. You might be testing them too, to see their reaction. Let me see how long they will sit down and what they go do, and then he comes out.
No, but remember,
good job, Lennox.
No, but remember, he gets smart too. So you will be saying there too. You see them people who are applying for work. Them is paying them people, you know. I can't get them air condition yet. I don't let them come and take the normal breeze until we see if they really learn and really want change. So you can't blame him, Mickie.
Can't blame him. Let me see them if they go sweat like runaway slaves. Let me watch them and see if they're serious. How committed are they? How committed? How do they really understand that when the UNC wins that they are going to win too?
That's why they come in the
You're
office.
right. Don't waste the cold breeze on them, boy. Don't waste that cold breeze on them. It's too early still. Watch them. Let them come in. But folks, please visit the center. Whatever assistance you may need, whether your pension backed up, whatever the case, legal advice, check out the center.
Check out
One
the
of
center.
the workers there coming. All right, nice.
Wow.
Things happening.
Workers helping.
Right. And nothing out there for them. No bottled water, none of that. Let me see how serious these people are.
Well, they're supposed to donate. Them same people supposed to look at the service the man offering. To hell. They just give away the whole life to the PNM. But at least bring out a 5 case of bottled water, 6 case of bottled water for $100.
Watch them. Somebody by the door using their kerchief, look, to breathe. For breathing.
The door is open and it's off the street. You notice the cars in the background there. Yes.
But the PNM had them living under pressure. Look at the conditions the PNM had. But you want to come in there and look for pan. You see these people boldface?
You're right on John Street, people. Right on John Street. Yes, we are right here. And of course, we have an employment and resource center. So we are trying to, of course, facilitate as much as possible and to, of course, get in contact with those who can assist in the delivery. So yes, that is it. The operation in motion.
Nice. Very good, man. Very good. So
All
Trinidad
right,
Tobago.
that brings us to the end of our program. Don't forget on Sundays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., right here on Real Media. You can catch Media Observer on Gael TV, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So we also, with interviews, but we look back at what was said at the post-cabinet conference and, what's our takeaway from it. Lennox, I know tonight you're on the corridor transformation.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I am on tonight from 8 o'clock sharp. And we are looking at a live audience as well in the same auditorium that you would have, the camera would have switched to. So in the daytime, of course, it's a beehive of activities in terms of people looking for assistance. And in the nighttime, of course, an audience listening to what we have to deliver. And of course, just now they will be participating. I'll have a microphone in the audience and they will, of course, make their contribution as well. This is about transformation. This is about true development. And this is about our democracy, true participatory democracy in motion. Not like Rowley and they, who believe that they could dictate it to the people and the people will not respond and defend their democracy. Well, we saw it happen in spectacular fashion on the 28th of April this year, when, of course, they were booted out of office.
Mickie and Lennox, before we all go, because I want to test it to make sure that it is working. Because when we done yesterday, we make sure we did a lot of things. And watch this, watch on the screen there, because we go in and start to put interviews in place with every single body. So watch one of the interviews we're going to put in place here. These are things that have been put in place to make sure we have it nice when we interviewing our MPs, our ministers, and all those you're saying. Watch it there. Nice. So, all I see in there, the first interview there, what? On call with the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Oh boy, so I just given you all examples, and it's we already yesterday put everything in place. So we have more. Oh yes, no, Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa is not on, but we have already put everything else in place, including the Tobago House of Assembly, all its members, including the Chief Secretary, including mayors and chairmen, and all the various things. You all will just have to organize and give me a list of the other people that we will have to organize and put in place. Like, for instance, let me give you our next one here. Oh, boy. Right, let me give you our next one here. Bam. Right. He's not there. Let me give you our next one here again, too. Right. So, everything and everyone is put in place for me to organize and get these very important interviews with the people of Trinidad and Tobago right here in the Ground Report. Because here what? We must not allow them to be interviewed by CNC3, TV6, Express, and all those people that hate them. Hate them. The interview must be with a credible media house or a credible talk show program, the Ground Report, and everything is put in place for every single one of them. It is what it is. All right, let me go back to the next.
Magnificent, my friend. All I can say to you is magnificent. I think that is progress, and of course a good tester or good quality control man is Mickie, and if Mickie said good, it's good. Just as, of course, he recognized that in my own environment, I have several mansions.
Yes, several rooms in that mansion. Many rooms. And I like again that you took local workers, local construction workers to help build. That says something.
I hear you, my friend. I hear you, my friend.
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
So, Mickie, lock off for us. Let's look to organize.
Hey, folks, until tomorrow, try to stay alive. There you go. There's the center again, George Street. Check it out. What number exactly on George Street, Lennox?
55 George Street. 55 George Street.
55 George Street. Whatever assistance you need. It's safe. The environment is safe. Get down there and let them know if you're looking for Lennox Smith and the center. whatever assistance. You need to get your resume together. You need to help with your tax return. You need to register a business. You need to, of course, deal with a will or whatever the case may be. NIS pension, check out the center number 55 George Street in Port of Spain. More people are coming in. There you go. So once the commitment is there, a fan will come after, and perhaps even bottled water and what have you.
Air
But for
condition
now,
and all them
let's
things
see
go.
how serious you are. Let's see how serious you are. Why is that guy walking in? Anyhow. All right, folks, until tomorrow, we are out of here. Stay safe.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.